Hello, everybody, and welcome to yet another presentation of the ECL Elite Division Playoffs right here on NHL Gamer. My name is Tukey, joined as always by my broadcast partner, Sin. Now, Sin, it's a hot day here in Maine, hot and humid. It's even hotter out there in California, but it's cold within the confines of this virtual arena that these four teams are going to be going head-to-head in tonight. I'm excited for this. I mean, these two playoff series have lived up to the hype so far, and it's only going to get better from here.
Absolutely. The 8th seed taking a game off of the defending champions. 2 overtime games in the first 2 between HAVU and hREDS. I mean, it's just going to get better from here on out.
Absolutely. Again, to kick things off in this broadcast, we will continue to see the ridiculous run. That is the only way to describe it. Färjestad, the Giant Killers, knocking off number 1 Jyväskylä, and now a tie series here. I can't believe it. It's still stunning to say, splitting the first 2 games of their series against defending champions Linköping. Again, games 3 and 4 of that series will be covered, as well as games 3 and 4 between HAVU Gaming and hREDS coming up in the immediate aftermath. So buckle up. We got a lot to get to this afternoon. We know with Färjestad and Linköping, we'll be seeing them tomorrow, Thursday, right here. Same bat time, same bat channel. We don't yet know, though, with HAVU and hREDS. That depends on whether or not hREDS can work their way back into this series. Games 5 through potentially 7 will be covered tomorrow if necessary. But for now, we focus on the task at hand. Again, Färjestad and Linköping kicking things off as you get a look at the lineups in this particular matchup. And Sin, again, we've talked about it throughout the postseason and throughout the first 2 games of this series. You look at that Linköping lineup, defending champions with those same 6, and you say there's no way FBK is going to be able to hang around. Yet here we are. It's a 1-1 split for the first 2 games.
Yeah, and I mean, if you caught the first game when it was 5-0 Linköping, I mean, they looked firmly in the driver's seat. And then in that typical Färjestad fashion, they decide, no, actually, we're going to win this game. We're going to capitalize on like every scoring chance that we have. And it's just very exciting hockey between these 2 teams so far. And, it's going to look good. But yeah, I mean, it's got to be daunting going against Linköping. But, Färjestad don't seem to be minding it.
Absolutely. I mean, Sin, you mentioned that first game, Linköping winning 5-0. They outshot FBK 22-2. And in game 2, it looked as though we were going to see the same thing. LHC, with the early 2-1 lead, but Färjestad scoring 4 unanswered goals to take that game as well. But on the flip side, you look at the stats there for Linköping, they still outshot Färjestad in that game. They had more time on attack in that game, but we've seen the attitude from Färjestad be the same throughout this entire postseason run. We've talked about it numerous times. Final, week of the regular season, they didn't exactly do themselves any favors. So they make it into the playoffs because other teams couldn't pick up the ball and run with it. I am very sorry to Vesapampa HC if that sounds harsh. But you look at this team, the term playing with house money comes to mind. And here they are now. You beat Jyväskylä, you're hanging in there against Linköping. No pressure situation for them. Just do what you got to do and see where it takes you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's like you said, playing with house money essentially. And I think that's their attitude. And I think they're playing so, very loose and, they're just kind of, tempering their expectations and playing the game that they think they're able to play. And it's worked for them so far. And again, a tied series here. Anything can happen in these next 2 games.
Absolutely. With that, let's bring it to the individual matchups here, and we'll kick things off with the center position as we always do. Or we'll get a look at a little bit of a technical error there. Eki, if he is playing center, it'd be news to me. There we go. Live production. You never know. Shout out to our incredible producer for being able to fix that one on the fly. Lord knows I'd be scrambling. We kick things off here with this individual breakdown. For Färjestad, we see Maiza, and for the Linköping side, of course, the captain of the team, it's Potzloff. Now, Sin, again, you look at these stats, of course, we have to keep in mind that Linköping, pulling off a first-round sweep over Roots in round 1. Of course, FBK went to 5 games, but that really does go to show, just how, strong Potzloff has been for his team. But again, Maiza just, an integral part in getting FBK to where they are up to this point.
Yeah, he's really a huge part, and he's one of those guys that really helps on the assist side of things too. But the most important thing is his faceoffs have been outstanding ever since the playoffs started. He has a great two-way game, and he's been a huge part, if not maybe even one of the most important here, of getting them some possession. They understand they're going to be outpossessed by Linköping in the back and forth game, but when you can win those faceoffs, you keep giving your team a fighting chance. And he's had the advantage here throughout the playoffs and throughout this series here in the first two games.
Absolutely. I mean, Potsdam, if you look at him in the regular season, nearly 57% on the draw. Through round one, though, in the playoffs, he started to struggle. That percentage dropped by nearly 10%. Meanwhile, Mize on the other side, he's only gotten better. 47% in the regular season, 58% thus far through the playoffs, or at least through the first round. The updated stats to the second, round thus far, of course, not being factored in at the moment, but, only to further your points in, he has been incredibly strong for Färjestad and needs to continue to do so if they're going to have a chance to steal this series, which is the best way to phrase it. Moving on to the Battle of the Wingers, the winger matchup here. As for Linköping, we see Playmaker and Eki, and of course for Färjestad, it's Affe and Bastion out. Sin, again, you look at Playmaker, you look at the goal-scoring ability, running away with the goal-scoring crown, running away with the points crown. Eki, of course, reputation precedes him, but it's been the emergence of Affe this season for Färjestad in his rookie year. And, of course, Bastion, one of the more underrated forecheckers in this league, and what he brings to this lineup, that physicality, the aggressiveness, truly allows Färjestad to have one of the higher-rated offenses that they've had all season long.
Definitely. And we talk so much about how good Affe is and how good Bastion are, on the offensive side of things. But, I think in this series and throughout these playoffs especially, they're showing just how flexible of players they are. The team defense of Färjestad has really, just stepped it up about 5 notches. And a big part of it is Affe and Bastion, especially in the defensive end. Affe laying some of the hip checks. Bastion, of course, with his physical game and everything. They've had to step up the defensive play. And that, comes down to a lot of the wingers. You expect your defenseman to play defense. You expect your center to play defense. And then when you want to step it up as a team, you need your wingers to contribute that much more. And that's exactly what they've done. And, in Linköping, Playmaker, Eki, you kind of know what you're getting. You're getting elite talent. They could play. I mean, their two-way game is absolutely insane. It needs no further introduction. And, of course, their numbers speak for themselves as well.
Absolutely. Now, Sin, earlier today, before this broadcast, you were able to get a quick word with Eki about, this matchup in the postseason and how things have gone thus far. Let's bring it over to that and see how that went down.
Hey guys, Sin here, and I'm with Eki of Linköping. He's going to answer a few questions for us. So, after a dominant performance there in game one, you guys dropped the second game to Färjestad, and they seemed like, they scored almost on seemingly every chance that they had. Did that response in the second game sort of take you guys by surprise?
No, we watched their series against you. We know what they're capable of. The first game was really complete for us, but I think that in the second game, we did a lot of individual mistakes, which costed us, especially defensively. So, yeah, we're trying to improve on that.
All right. So, Färjestad, they've been saying kind of from the beginning that they feel no pressure to succeed here, being the 8th seed and kind of, the perpetual underdogs through everything. As the defending champs and, the second seed, you guys are the clear favorites here. Do you guys think that you thrive off the pressure that comes with of being expected to win?
Yeah, I guess you could say that. We've been in this situation like many times. We know what we need to do to win. I'm expecting great games tonight.
All right, so that leads us to the last question here. What do you guys think that you need to do as a team now to get the advantage, win the 2 games and then have a chance to wrap things up pretty quickly on Thursday?
Be careful on their rushes. They're really, really good in counterattacks. We need to shut that down. And I feel like, like I said, individually we did a lot of mistakes Monday. So yeah, we need to especially focus on our defense. And I feel like our offense will come. Like we scored 8 goals on Monday. So yeah, just focus, a bit more focus on defense, and I think it will be good.
All right. Well, we appreciate your time here. Thank you, and best of luck today.
Thank you.
Interesting, Sin, to hear what Eki had to say in terms of not exactly being caught off guard as far as other aspects that he mentioned in terms of Färjestad's, attacking style. We'll get to that a little bit later on. Hint, hint, wink, wink. We move over to the defensive matchup here again. Of course, another key aspect of this series and how it's going to go down. For Färjestad, we have Rubitus and Totali, and for Linköping, we have J. Toro and Lehmann. Now, Sin, what is shocking to me is that Rubitus and Totali aren't exactly known as the most offensive pairing in the world heading into this series. I mean, Rubitus, 8th in terms of points in the regular season for defensemen, but again, still not, top, that upper echelon like you hear, about with J. Toro and Loimo and Totali, especially, 18 points in 30 games. But you look at what they've done here in the postseason thus far, the offense is really starting to show up for these two, as well as still being defensively responsible. I mean, we've praised both of them numerous times throughout this postseason thus far, and rightfully so. And then you look at the point totals for J. Toro and Lehmann, it's like, what exactly is going on here as far as this little bit of a role reversal?
Yeah, I mean, this series just seems to kind of be turned on its head for the pairing of Färjestad. They have 3 points between the two of them in the first 2 games. And when you look at Loimo and J. Toro, just 1 point between the two of them. J. Toro, 0 points in those first 2 games. Now, we know how good these guys are, and we know how often they jump up into the offense based on their regular season point totals alone. Both of them, far above a point per game players. So it's very interesting seeing them not able to, to get in on the point scoring things. I don't know if they've just been snake bitten so far or what, or their style of play has had to sort of adjust to be able to kind of start to counteract towards Färjestad. But it's a very interesting stat, and I'll be very intrigued to see how that kind of shifts moving on here. But yeah, you said it, Rubitus and Totali, not the most offensive guys, but their points comparable to Linköping, who might have the best offensively gifted defenseman.
Absolutely. With that, we bring it over to the goaltending matchup as we have the face of Season 10 in net for Linköping. It's Kappe against the man himself. It is Rundqvist. And, of course, you take a look at this, at the stat line here. And, of course, Sin, I'm sure you'll break it down for us as well, what we've seen from the stat lines thus far in this series. But perhaps not what you would expect, especially in terms of save percentage thus far. Really goes to show how instrumental Rundqvist has been in the, for the success of Färjestad in this postseason. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, we talked about Kappe yesterday and how, he's starting to step it up and get his numbers to where he wants them. But here in the semis, he hasn't had the same luck. He's only faced 15 shots, but, he's allowed 6 goals. So that's, 9 saves out of 15 shots. That's going to tank anyone's numbers there, especially considering the first series sweep. And Rundqvist is just, he's facing a lot more, and he's coming up with the saves. And I think the quality of shots he's facing after a while aren't as much, but at the same time, he's had to make some big saves here and there too. So for Kappe, I think it's just a matter of the chances that he's facing, while they're few and far between, are A+ breakaways, 2-on-1, one-timers from in tight, so it's a tough situation indeed. But you kind of have to make a couple more saves here and there because Färjestad's going to be able to find that time and space.
Absolutely. Now, in the last broadcast, we talked about it. Is it Rundqvist? Is it Rundqvist? It's one of those things, of course, it's a little bit lost in translation. You talk about Henrik Lundqvist, it'd be weird to call him Lundqvist at this point. And again, you talk about the things lost in translation on the North American side. It's Peter Forsberg, after all, not Peter Forsberg. What is not lost in translation, again, is how important Rundqvist has been to his team's success. And you were able to talk to him a little bit earlier on. Let's hear what the netminder for Färjestad had to say.
What's up, guys? Sin here, back again, this time with Rundqvist of Färjestad. And, your magical playoff run continuing to turn heads here in 6's esports scene. What do you think the biggest factor for your success has been so far?
I don't know the biggest factor, but we just keep getting those bounces, and we're playing without any pressure at all. That helps a lot too, but I'd say the bounces, yeah.
Bounces, all right, definitely helps. So you have a 1-1 split right now against the defending champs in Linköping. How confident are you guys today that you can match that, or maybe even pick up 2 wins?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I meant the first game. I mean, the first game, Linköping flexes their muscles. No team can stand against that. But the second game, when we play the game we want to play, I mean, we score 6 goals on Linköping and Cup. I mean, any team has got to respect that too. So we're pretty confident. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, confidence definitely important here. So, I got to kind of point this out once again. Your defense during the season as a team was, a little bit questionable at times. As a goaltender, what have you seen different here in the playoffs that's allowing you guys to stay in a position to win games, consistently?
I don't. I mean, during the regular season, we really wanted to win every game. We got into the playoff spot almost on a fluke. Of course, we had a couple of wins, but we got into the playoffs because of a lot of luck. But we really stepped up defensively. And as you said on Monday, defense wins championships, and I can't disagree with that.
Definitely. Well, the adjustments being made. You're tied 1-1 against the defending champs as the 8th seed. Best of luck today for you guys to hopefully continue some of that magic. And thanks for your time with us today.
No problem, Sin.
So, Sin, with that, we move on. Interesting, of course, to hear Runke was talking about the luck being such a major factor, and perhaps that will break down into the keys to success as well. But starting things off for Linköping, you heard Eki talk about it. They have to watch the counterattack. It's what fell the number 1 seed in EASHL in the first round, and it's what has allowed FBK to crawl their way back into this series, through game 2. LHC love their pressure-based offense, but they need to avoid getting caught. As we talked about as well, J. Toro and Loimu combined for 1 point thus far in this series. They were the top 2 point getters amongst defensemen in the regular season, so look for them to find their offensive touch as well, as we mentioned. And then, of course, inconsistent results. Both goaltenders are playing better than their numbers, but for Kape in particular, he's only faced 15 shots through 2 games, so a .600 save percentage thus far looks horrible. But keep in mind, he had a shutout in game 1, so that really just goes to show how quickly the momentum of things can change throughout a series like this. Again, both of these teams battling to make their way to the final. Sin, for Färjestad, what's it going to take here in games 3 and 4?
Well, the first thing here is so far they're playing a bit of a dangerous game here, sort of flirting with disaster. Färjestad have taken 5 penalties in this series so far, next to Linköping's 1. Färjestad 1 for 1 on their power play, so they have capitalized, and so far Linköping only 1 for 5, 20%, which is, a bit lower than the regular season. They didn't have the greatest power play, but with all their offensive tools, you got to think Färjestad keeps taking penalties. Linköping is going to have one of those games where they get 2, maybe even 3 on the power play. So that's going to have to be something that Färjestad looks out for. The second one here, let's get physical. Bastion and Rubitus have a combined 49 hits in 2 games, and that's huge to have a defenseman and a forward getting in on the physical action. It means, either Rubitus holding the line, putting pressure on the guys, not letting them establish that down low cycle. And for Bastion, he's helping out on the back end, pressuring the defenseman on the forecheck, pressuring them when they get the puck on the point, which I think is a big reason why we saw those low point totals from J. Toro and Loimu. Bastion is just a nuisance out there with that physical game. And the last key here, hanging in there, Rundqvist. His goals against average is 4.00. Now that looks pretty bad, but again, he's faced about 20 shots per game, and his save percentage in this series still around where you want to be with that sort of, that 800 mark, the 80 save percentage that we want in EASHL. So he's doing his job. He's making the saves when he needs to, and he's going to have to continue that if they want to supplant Linköping here and pull off yet another upset.
Absolutely, Sin. We are just about ready again. Games 3 and 4 being covered here. The semi-final round of the ECL Elite Division postseason as you get an updated look at the playoff bracket. Again, keep in mind, games 3 and 4 of the HAVU Gaming hREDS series will be covered immediately after this series, so don't go anywhere. Of course, it's going to be very intriguing. We know, of course, Thursday, tomorrow afternoon, again, same time right here on NHL Gamer, that we're going to see how this plays out. That series guaranteed to be featured tomorrow afternoon. We'll see, though, whether or not HAVU and hREDS make an appearance. HAVU going to be looking to end this best of 7 here on this very broadcast, and we'll see how that pans out. Again, Linköping and HAVU Gaming, a spectacular final last year that saw Linköping crowned as champions, and of course the potential for that rematch is still very, very much alive. So very intrigued to see how this is going to play out. Of course, so much going on under the NHL Gamer banner, really, not just amongst this playoff bracket, but of course everything else that's going on through our lower 3 tiers. Of course, make sure to check out NHLGamer.com if you have not already done so. And of course, if you're watching right here on Twitch, drop us a follow. Check out the Instagram, the Discord, the Twitter. You know the deal. We're all about the social media. It's 2020. You can't live without it, even if you hate it. Sin, I don't know where I'm going with this. Maybe, just kind of putting my own thoughts on my stance on social media at this point and why I'm still on it into this stream. But you know what? You know what? We do what we can around here. In the business, we call it filling time. But Sin, the good thing is we don't have to fill time anymore. Game 3, puck drop, just about ready to go down. Linköping and Färjestad. Sin, I'm excited for this one.
I'm absolutely excited. I mean, this first game, I think it's really going to set the tone here for today. Will Linköping kind of come out as they did, yesterday with a dominant team performance, or will they kind of show some holes there, and will Färjestad be able to capitalize on them? I don't know what's going to happen, and I'm not going to ever presume to know what's going to happen when Färjestad is on the ice anymore. They are just, they do the unexpected constantly.
Absolutely. Game 3 underway. Eki has it down in the corner, charges the net, run stable to make an early stop. Good bit of a confidence builder there. Again, this presentation of the ECL Elite Division, brought to you as always by our partners at ISE Sports and Prisma Gaming. We thank them very much, and we'll see how this plays out here off the draw. Färjestad come up with it. Good opportunity on the rush. Afe, though, forced to drop it back. And again, the battle of the blue lines. Expected to be, an extremely important aspect of any series. Afe has a step. He can't get the pickup, though. But Sin, FBK nearly catching Linköping off guard right out of the gates.
And it can happen so quickly. And you saw Linköping there almost in a 1-4 trap right there, really trying to be conscientious. But Afe still able to find a little bit of space, just unable to get that puck pickup right there.
Chance here. Eki drops it back for Loimo. Now down for Playmaker in the corner. Has a few options, but loses it on the contact. Färjestad back in possession here. They'll circle around, and again, you see it, a 1-4 on display from Linköping, an active adjustment from them to try and stop the rush from Färjestad. But down in the corner now, Bastian throws it in front, Afe's there! Färjestad have the lead in the early stages of the first period here in Game 3. Sin, he can't be stopped.
I don't know what is going on, but Afe is just on a roll here, a hot streak. He just keeps finding the softest of spots right there. I mean, there's 4 jerseys. There's 4 dark blue jerseys in between him and his passer. The puck somehow manages to find its way through all of those bodies, and he's sitting right there on the doorstep. Not much Kape could do in that situation, but it's almost like you have to have a guy on Afe constantly bumping him, pushing him, something, or else he's going to continue just to find those little tiny windows where he can capitalize. 1-0 for Färjestad. Linköping, they got to strike back quick, or else this one could kind of start getting away from them.
A huge goal for FBK here, taking the lead under 5 minutes into the first period. Chance here for Eki, though. Shot on, broken up. There's Afe yet again. Bastian now looking to find his way past Jay Toros. Space simply wasn't there. Playmaker tries to get it over the line. And Sin, we've seen it not just from HAVU. We've pointed it out a lot, but Linköping as well. Some struggles at times in terms of finding the consistency and gaining the offensive zone.
Yeah, and it's very uncharacteristic. They're a very precise team. They're very good with their timing, and they usually completely play as one. So anytime you see a sort of miscommunication like that, whether it be small or large, it comes as a shock right now. And
turnover here. Playmaker forced to drop it back, but great job by Miza. They're going to try to free off it here yet again, but it's going to be off the back wall, and will come down the other way. How quickly things can develop, Sin.
Yeah, and a good job by Loimu to stay back. And I think that's another reason we're not seeing Jay Toro and Loimu find the scoring sheet so much. They're so focused on trying to prevent those long stretch passes.
Eki recovers the puck, still up for grabs here around the back of the Färjestad goal. Playmaker comes up with it, throws it in front, loose puck still there. Eki not able to hold on to it, trouble here for Bastian. He survives a scary moment. Totally in possession now. He'll drop it off D2D for Rubitus, who's able to make a couple of quick passes. He tries to find the space through. Can't find any room on that occasion. Halfway through the first period, Färjestad up 1-0. The goal, I mean, from who else would it be? Zafe at this point, his 4th goal in under 3 games. Scores! Deflection in front. It's Zafe again. He can't be stopped. Färjestad up 2-0. Maybe not deflected. I saw Zafe celebrating, Sin. It is going to be Rubitus, who's going to be extremely upset about that. Could have sworn Afe deflected it. You can't blame me for thinking it, because, again, he's everywhere. He's in front of the net there. At the end of the day, Färjestad up by 2.
And Rubitus, only 3 goals in the regular season, gets a huge one right here, and his first goal of the semis right now, and 2 shots, 2 goals. Obviously not the start Linköping wanted, but it's pretty much what Färjestad has done this entire playoffs. They only need a couple chances, and they just seem to capitalize on every single one that they get, and it did hit a skate. That's why you may have saw the deflection right there. It hits Loimu's skate and goes 5-hole on Kape, and well, you heard Runkvist say that they're benefiting from some bounces. That doesn't seem to be changing. You got to be good to be lucky and lucky to be good. 2-0 for Färjestad here in the first period. What is going on?
I feel so vindicated seeing that puck deflect in front. I knew what I saw. It just wasn't Afe who got a piece of it, but you can't blame me for thinking it. Chance here on the counter, though, for Linköping. What a start, though, for Färjestad. Afe, even when he's not officially on the score sheet, is a presence, but fair play to Rubitus. A shot from the point, chance, point blank for Potzloff. Just doesn't go through. Now again, here's Afe, dishes off from Miza. Bastian not able to pick up that puck in stride, but able to recover quickly. Färjestad still in on the attack. Bastian, the toe drag move doesn't pan out. And a chance now again for Linköping, facing adversity. Maybe now they understand what Jypi Vaskala felt at certain points. Here's Potzloff. Now Loimu. Couple of quick passes. It's Playmaker down low. They look for the wraparound. Doesn't go. Bastian was there to help defend. Chance for Jay Toro. Potzloff again. Linköping trying to get the cycle going, but a good defensive display here from Färjestad, and they come up with the possession. Under 4.5 to go now here in the first period. Stretch pass finds its way to Afe yet again. Self-sauce for a bit of space, but he can't make his way past Loimu. Stretch pass here. Eki. A little bit of space, bandana and all. Back to Jay Toro. Puck into the mixer. Potzloff can't come up with it on that attempt. Chance here now for Miza, but Justice, and he drops back. Färjestad looking for those controlled breakouts more often than not. I guess really trying to see if they can catch the fence. Napping. Afe over for Bastian. I can't believe he passed.
I can't either. I mean, it looked like he had the good shot. Bit of miscommunication right there. Maybe he thought Bastian was going to cut towards the net more, but yeah, you said it. Can't believe he passed right there with how good he's been with a little bit of time and space on those partial breakaways.
Final minute to play here in the first period. Totali finds Miza. Now it's Bastian poking it further into the zone. Recovered by Loimu, but Afe is there to play the possession game. Now it's Totali, throws it on. Rebound was there, but recovered by Loimu. 3 seconds to play now here in the first period. And Sin, it's a picture-perfect start for Färjestad. A 2-0 lead. Goals from Afe and Rubitus, as it were. What a start for the boys in green.
Absolutely, and at all ends of the ice, their neutral zone play has been pretty good. They force some offsides, they force some turnovers, and when Linköping does gain the zone, we're not seeing them like they did in Game 1 yesterday, really being able to sustain that and getting shot after shot after shot. Färjestad doing a great job of collapsing, boxing them out, and beating them to those loose pucks after the first initial opportunities, and that's something that Färjestad has struggled with throughout the regular season, and even throughout the playoffs so far. They've pretty much been dominated at times when it comes to the puck possession game, but in this one, they're doing a great job. Their defense continuing to get better as the playoffs wear on, it seems, and their offense doing the same thing it's always done, taking the opportunities given to them and capitalizing on them. You see there, 3 minutes, 10 seconds, time on attack for Linköping, but it simply didn't feel like that. The chances they got weren't dangerous, and Färjestad able to break it out pretty smoothly, not turning it over after Linköping kind of takes their shots. It's very intriguing, and it doesn't make sense, but Färjestad just find a way. That's it. Life finds a way. Jeff Goldblum. But it's Färjestad.
Unbelievable. That is my response to everything that I just heard. Oh, boy. Clever girl, clever team. Färjestad able to make the most of their opportunities, finding a way to win, and that's what you really have to do in a postseason situation. We'll see what they're able to do here. Again, we talked about can the defense step up, and they've done that thus far for Färjestad as well in terms of putting up points on the sheet. Deflection bid there doesn't quite go. And that goal for Rubitas really set up. I'm going to say I will defend myself on that call until the day I die. Linköping back in possession here now, though. Again, facing a rare bit of adversity, but Sin, we've seen it happen before. If there's a team that can come back from a less than favorable situation, it is Linköping. As again, we see that weird glitch in terms of the colors. So again, Misa, the red icon there, the center, is going to be Bastion in green, or Bastion in blue as opposed to the green, and off in green. Chance there, thrown again in front, doesn't find its way through. Loimu has it again at the point, now down in the corner. Shot from Jay Toro, just doesn't find its way through. Here comes Rubitas, sauces it across. Bastion was there yet again. Let's see what Loimu is able to do here for Linköping. Chance now, steps over the blue line. A little bit of space to work with there. Draws the trip, and Sin, rough mistake there. Huge opportunity for Linköping to get back into this one.
Yeah, and we talked about it with the keys of the game. Färjestad, they can't keep giving these opportunities to Linköping. This is the 6th penalty of the series so far, and Linköping, eventually they get that power play going. It can really benefit them, and they can strike back.
Quick set play here, but read well and defended even better. Second chance, thrown in front, loose puck, recovered, sent down, and here's Afe. Back pressure's there. He'll be forced to cut back. Wise move to not try to force his way through on that occasion. Still plenty of time here, though, for Linköping on the man advantage. Eki has it. Now it's at the point with Jay Toro. Tries to go down low. Bastion was there. He can't clear. Potzloff down for Playmaker. What's he going to look to do? Tried to find Eki on the far post. Just wasn't there. Eki not able to hold on to it. Nafa sends it all the way down. Just 30 seconds remaining here on this man advantage for Linköping. Down 2-0 in surprising fashion. Jay Toro recovers the puck following the contact. Chance here now for Loimu. Back down for Eki. We're back to even strength. Jay Toro shot denied. Great chance there. Playmaker able to pick up the rebound. Still in possession of it now. Looking for a bit of space. Loses it though. Good defense there from Rubitas. Sent down and played by Loimu. Not much he could do about that one, but a good break there for Färjestad. Gives them a chance to reset. But here's Eki. Jay Toro. Loimu loses it. Eki recovers. Now Potzloff. Back for Jay Toro. Doesn't find its way home. Huge opportunity. Eki on the doorstep. But Rundqvist is able to find it and make the stop.
Wow, I mean, you're starting to see Linköping sustaining a lot more offensive time here. That's what Färjestad, they want to kind of watch out for. Need to get those puck backs out. They still have a lead, but you can't go into a shell here too early because Linköping will make you pay.
Absolutely. Chance here yet again. Now sent around the back of the boards. See how this one goes. Totali has it now for Färjestad. Gets the outlet pass. A couple of quick displays of puck movement here. They're able to recover. Rubitas tried to find Bastion, was unable to do so. So LHC really fixing their defensive game up to this point, but can they get the goals that they need? Eki not able to hold on to it. Rubitas was there, turns it over to Playmaker in front. Potzloff couldn't get it, and Rundqvist is able to make the cover yet again.
Great positioning from Misa right there. He picked off that pass. That would have been a sure goal on the cross crease, but excellent positioning by him to help out his goaltender.
Absolutely. Huge face-off here. Won by Misa, but Playmaker's able to win it back. Sends it all the way around. Recovered by Loimu. No, Färjestad now. Chance on the rush, but again, they'll drop back. And some interesting, perhaps, frustration from LHC. I don't know how to read that. There's multiple different ways You could read that particular setup. Sent across. Eki takes a gigantic hit, and he's down. Chance here, though, will go to waste. Offside right now for Färjestad. They're going to be forced to drop back. Bastion steps up and makes a huge hit anyway. So much for dropping back. Here comes Linköping. Now it's Eki. Again, not able to hold on to it. Maiza works to find Rubitas. Unable to do so. So again, Linköping really shutting down the neutral zone here. But hey, as far as your Färjestad, as far as they're concerned, if you're a member of Färjestad, you still have a 2-0 lead. Chance here. Eki tried to find Potzloff. Good interception. Here's Totali. Just over 2 minutes remaining. Finds off it. Perhaps not the confidence Totali needed there to bring it over the line. Here's Playmaker now. On the half wall. Looks to find a bit of space. Sends it down low. Jay Toro's there to recover. A little bit of contact. Still fighting for it. Great movement. And even better interception by Rubitas to deny Playmaker the chance. Stretch pass doesn't go. Linköping back in possession, but only 30 seconds remaining here in the second period. Chance now yet again turned over. Maiza finds Afe. 5 seconds to work with. Can't walk through the traffic. Sin, a much better period for LHC, but they still find themselves down by 2.
And it's kind of nuts to think about that. Rundqvist has made some good saves, but I can't help but feel like right now Linköping are a little bit off, but at the same time, you can see what they're trying to do. It's just that Färjestad can also see what they're trying to do. And Färjestad, the level of research that they do into their opponents is really showing right now. They seem to, at times, know what Linköping is going to do before Linköping even takes the steps to do it. And they're in position for the intercepts. They're bumping the person. They're already, have a plan A and a plan B to sort of try to counteract that, or at least go into damage control, and it's really benefiting them. Again, we see the numbers of time on attack in Linköping's favor. Only 5 registered shots, though, which is much lower than some of their other totals. That has to do with Färjestad blocking some shots and simply not giving Linköping the looks that they want. And in this third period, I think we're going to see Linköping maybe start throwing a bit more on net and just sort of crashing in the net, hoping for a dirty goal, hoping for a bounce themselves, because as of now, it's looking tough for them. And Färjestad on top, 2-goal lead and 20 minutes, and they're going to have a 2-1 lead against the defending champs. That's absolutely ridiculous.
The third period of Game 3 just about ready to begin. A 1-1 split with a 2-0 advantage here for FBK at this stage. We'll see whether or not they can hold on. Playmaker has space. Potzloff tried the near post. Just couldn't go. Good opportunity there for Linköping in the early stages here. Great pressure, but Bastion's able to find a way out, at least for the moment. He couldn't totally gain the zone. Chance Potzloff sent it across for Playmaker. Couldn't find the pass. Good start here for Linköping. Down low, Eki trying to hold on. Potzloff picks it up, doesn't find a way to put it home. Has it again. Jay Toro denied. Eki the second chance, still doesn't go. Somehow Linköping haven't found the back of the net in this one so far. Maiza works his way through, still in possession now. Tries to get it down low to Afe. He does. Still in possession of it, gets it back to the point. Totali, a little bit of room to work with, but quickly running out of space. Finds Maiza. Now down low in that corner again. Here's Afe down low. In front for Bastion. Good interception there. And here come Linköping down the other way. It's Potzloff. Has Eki with him. Backhand on net. Doesn't go. Potzloff slams it off the back of the goal. There's Totali yet again. Goes for Maiza here instead on the pass. Smart move along the half wall. Draws the hook. Färjestad going to the power play. Not sure who's taking a seat here. Sin, that is going to be Loimu, the right defender for LHC, who takes a seat. An interesting situation here.
Bit of a mental lapse by him. The handedness was at the wrong, point for him to try that stick lift, and he already had gotten beat. Again, maybe a bit of a frustration right there for Linköping, but nonetheless, they just gave one of the top power plays in the regular season an opportunity, but a great face-off win to relieve some of the pressure. They got to try to attack here on the penalty kill.
Mackey not able to send that all the way down. Färjestad back in possession. Here's Rubitas. Has a goal in this game, much to my dismay. Chance here now down in the corner. Maiza has a couple of options. 4 men protecting the net here for Linköping. Bastion, space, can't hold on to it. Playmaker comes up with it. He's going to look to make something out of this here from the looks of it as well. Maybe trying to draw a retaliation penalty, but it doesn't happen there. Here's Maiza. He's going to send it down. Afe's going to win the race. Has space, can't tuck it. Good bit of contact there from Jay Toro to disrupt him. Back to the point, Rubitas. Now Afe again in the corner. Errant pass. and that'll bring us back to 5-on-5, Sin.
Yeah, a bit of a misread right there. Both the point guy and Miza right there, both thinking the one was going to cover the boards. They simply didn't. Afe's pass just went, way back in their own end. But Linköping now, they dodged the bullet. Now they got to try to get themselves on the board here.
Absolutely, Afe. Miscommunication there with Miza. This will go down for icing. 10:21 remaining here in the third period of Game 3. Crucial face-off coming up, Sin.
Huge. Patzloff has to come up with this for his team. We know they got plenty of face-off plays, but they're a great team when they're able to cycle the puck as well. They got to win this.
Face-off battle's been relatively even. Tie up here. Playmaker has it. Tried to find Patzloff. Still has it around the back. Eki maybe looked to shoveling it on there, but again, Rubitus was able to get a piece of it. Chance for Eki. The shot doesn't go. Loose puck is recovered by Rubitus down low. 9 minutes to play here. Stretch pass for Bastion doesn't go. It'll be another icing call here against Färjestad, but Sin, I mean, it's not necessarily the worst idea in the world to just send it down and see if you can catch the defense off guard with how strong Mize has been on the draw. We'll see what happens on this one. Patzloff does win it clean. J. Toro deflection, bid, loose puck kicked out to the corner. Chance recovered here. We'll see what Färjestad can do. They've struggled in the transition game since the first period. Turnover here. Eki has it. Rebound for Patzloff. Does not go. Huge stop by Rundqvist. Bastion loses it yet again. Patzloff tries to dish it back in front. Totally able to recover it. Big pass there to find Rubitus in open space. Now it's Miza. Gonna look to hold on to it. He cuts back. Tremendous pressure here from Linköping. Just over 6 minutes to go. Here's Eki. Has a bit of space to work with. Plenty of options. Goes for Loimu. Deflection. He scores, but it's gonna be waved off. It may have been kicked in by Patzloff. Perhaps goaltender interference.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what they're going to call that. There was some contact, but it did look like it went off the foot of Patzloff there. And it's always hard to tell when it comes to this. If it's goaltender interference, that will likely be waved off. But if it comes down to a kick, it could go either way. We'll see what happens.
Big moment. Goal for Linköping. Patzloff gets them on the board. The captain makes it happen. It's a one-goal game, Sin.
That's exactly what Linköping needed. Some kind of a bounce, some kind of a play where they could get themselves back into it. And it's only a one-goal game, but time, now their biggest enemy. 5:45 left here in the third period. Färjestad, they have no problem just throwing that puck out of the zone, taking their chances with the face-offs. But again, now they don't have any more breathing room. They have the 2-goal lead, only 3 registered shots. It's been all Linköping since that moment, but Färjestad could somehow still win this game, and it's going to come down to the defense, which, to be fair, has looked fantastic. And with Rundqvist back there, always a chance to pull off the upset. But Linköping will not go away without a fight. They're going to come in guns blazing right here for the last 5 minutes.
A perhaps controversial call, but the opportunity that LHC needed. There's blood in the water. They're coming up with it there, at least for the moment. Playmaker wasn't able to hold on to it. Here's Miza now for FBK. Tries to send it across. Bastion's there. Has it in the corner. Trouble with J. Toro. Bastion tries to hold on to it for a bit too long. All 3 forwards were there for Linköping. Quick puck movement here from the defending champs. They're back to within 1. Turnover here, though. Bastion, a little bit of space to work with. Defends well. Tries to throw it back. It kicks all the way back out to the Färjestad zone, which is tremendous news for FBK as the clock continues to tick down. Great pass there from Bastion. Here's Afe. Loimu was with him, trying to defend. Now back to the point. It's Rubitus. Looking, turns it over to Eki. Chance on the rush here. It's Playmaker. Bit of space to work with. Throws it in front. They score. It's Patzloff again. And Linköping have finally found a way to break through, get the puck in front, and good things can happen. We're all tied up at 2.
Yep, too much sitting back, too much holding on to the puck for Färjestad right there, and it comes back to bite them. If you're Rubitus, you just got to throw that on net, get the puck in deep. You saw how high Miza was playing in the offensive zone, getting ready, for a counterattack, but with Linköping, the more chances they get, they're just going to score eventually. Now it's tied, and Färjestad has seen their lead evaporate, the advantage evaporate. 2 defensive there, and you know what? They let Linköping inch their way back into it, and Linköping never out of a game, never out of a series.
A heartbreaker here, perhaps, for Färjestad, and a chance here. J. Toro looking to work his way in. It'd be astonishing, as if what FBK haven't done in this postseason hasn't been, if they're able to walk away with the victory now in Game 3. Playmaker, a bit of space to work with. Rubitus there to defend. Playmaker still has it. Shot, scores! He picks the top corner. The top goal scorer in the league strikes again. Linköping from 2-0 down, now up 3-2 in the final minute of Game 3.
And this is what a champion team does. They don't give up. They keep pushing. We saw a bit of frustration perhaps at times, but then they refocused here. 3 unanswered goals, and I believe all of them coming within the last 10 minutes of the period, and 40 seconds left for Färjestad to find an answer. I don't know that they're going to. Linköping has just continued to get better as this game has gone on.
Still on the attack in front for Potzloff on a brace in this game. Able to get the hat trick there. We're going to see what happens. Eki's down, so a man advantage. Maiza now Afe. Back to the point. Totali can't find a way through. Here's Eki on the counterattack. Out of stamina. Sends it down low for Potzloff. 20 seconds to play. Holds it in the corner. Couple of men there to defend, but again, Färjestad running out of time. Maiza tries to find his way through the neutral zone. Can't hit Afe on the pass. Here's Eki. 8 seconds to play. We'll send it down low. Playmaker in possession. The contact. The comeback successful. Linköping battle back to take Game 3 away from Färjestad. A heartbreaker for FBK and perhaps the decisive moment of this series. All things considered, a very unfortunate turn of events. If you're a Färjestad supporter at this point in time. But again, you look at that game-winning goal for Rundqvist, there's not much you can do there. Again, you want to talk about the top goal scorer in the league by a ridiculous amount. Again, a friendly reminder, playmaker with 58 goals in 30 regular season games. So it's one where you probably don't want to blame the goaltender and more want to blame the defense in front of him for just allowing someone of that caliber to have that much space. I mean, you talk about the first round of the playoffs against Roots, 7 goals in 4 games. He now has his 4th goal in this series alone, and it stands to be the winner in Game 3. Again, a heartbreaking moment for Färjestad. So close yet so far. You took your foot off the gas a little bit and just couldn't hold on.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like you knew Linköping was going to come back strong, but at times Färjestad just seemed to be trying to play the clock a bit too much. Like their down low cycle looked pretty good, but then they didn't move it in time. You saw guys trying to just protect the puck rather than move it to another area where Linköping wasn't pressuring, and you knew they're going to get aggressive. They're going to put 2-3 guys on that puck carrier. So the way to get around that is keep moving that puck around, and simply at times they didn't do that. It was a costly mistake by Rubitas there on the point. That's the last place you want to turn it over when you're in the offensive zone, and that led to the tying goal. And then, of course, playmaker with all that time and space, Färjestad starting to panic a bit as their lead evaporated, and the leading goal scorer getting a late goal to put his team on top, definitely not unheard of, but that's why Linköping's dangerous. That's why they're champions next year, never out of a game. Their comeback mentality is just it's flawless, and they did it right there, and they take a 2-1 series lead. Färjestad, they had it in the palm of their hand, but it was ripped away by a very determined Linköping team.
Again, you talk about the turning point, that decisive moment of that game, and what might end up being the decisive moment of the series, the goal review that ends up going in favor of Linköping. Potzloff getting the first goal of the game for his team, and that really sparked the comeback efforts as you get another look at the lineups here. Again, Game 4 on deck. Don't go anywhere. And, of course, in the immediate aftermath of Game 4 in this series, we'll be covering Games 3 and 4 of the other semifinal matchup between HAVU Gaming and hREDS. HAVU, last year's runner-up, currently up 2-0 in that series. They have a chance to end that series today. We know we'll at least be seeing Game 5 between these two teams, however, tomorrow. But the question is whether or not it's going to be, a tied series yet again, or if Linköping are going to have a chance to end it in that 5th game, because we saw it through the first 2 games of this series in a dominant effort from Linköping in Game 1. We think, all right, Färjestad are done, and they come back to win Game 2. Here in Game 3, we think, all right, Färjestad, you had it, you blew it, you're probably done, but who knows what we're going to see here in Game 4.
Yeah, it could go either way, but Linköping, I think they won't be. They're not going to be the team now to kind of take a step back and they acknowledge the mistake that they made in Game 2. They take responsibility for it, and they got down early here, and you started to worry as it's into the third period. You still haven't scored a goal with all the chances, but if it was worrying them, it certainly didn't show. They stuck to their game plan, they stuck to their guns, and they ended up getting the win there with 3 third period goals with the 2-1 series lead now as we see the updated brackets. And Färjestad, I mean, you're so close to getting the advantage, and now you're right back on the ropes. And how much more is how much more magic is left in the tank right there? It's gonna take a lot here because you got the 2 early goals and you let it go. What can you do here? Because Linköping is gonna come out just as strong in Game 4.
Absolutely. That to make an analogy, you never quite know when it's gonna turn back into a pumpkin. And in this instance, it might just be about time for the clock to strike midnight for Färjestad. This 4th game, while not an elimination game, if you are to drop this and face a 3-1 deficit against Linköping, nobody is going to be betting on you. I don't think there's even a joke $10 bet to say, well, they might do it. This is it for Färjestad here in this 4th game. You need a win because Linköping now playing with confidence. You need another moment to perhaps shake that confidence that really they've built a winning team around. We saw it last year when Linköping won it all. It was all about their confidence and their composure and their ability to just keep playing until you run out of time. Mm-hmm. And we saw it in that game there, and that's, again, a big part of the reason, if not the biggest reason, as to why they walked away with the win. As you get an updated look here at the goaltending stats. Now, Sin, the thing to mention here, I mean, first and foremost for Kape, of course, a gigantic improvement from a 600 save percentage now up to a 76. Of course, it would have been a 60 with the way we calculated here. Rundqvist, though, the thing to note as well, in this semifinal at least, he had a 795 save percentage. And again, you do see a slight drop, as his save percentage continues to drop throughout this series. But he made some crucial saves. I mean, again, we talked about, Linköping not able to get the majority of the high quality chances they were looking for. But there were still some sneaky chances that Rundqvist needed to stop to keep his team in it for as long as he did. But then you look at the goals that did go in, the traffic in front for Potzloff, the wide open shooting opportunity for the league's most dangerous goal scorer, for the game-winning goal. I mean, again, call it bias or favoritism because we do think he is one of the better goalies in the league. I know Sin and I, both happen to believe that for Rundqvist, but at the end of the day, again, not the result he or Färjestad would have been looking for, but Sin, it really does just kind of go to show, if you get a Linköping side that gets to play with a bit of confidence, again, you want to talk about a tall task.
Yeah, and, as a goaltender, you just want to keep your team in a position to win, and I think he did that, and the problem was that Färjestad just could not get any real dangerous chances as that game wore on. It just became all Linköping, and Färjestad just trying to survive there, and that's not a winning strategy, especially against a team as dangerous as Linköping, who just never seems phased, and they never give up on a game. Even when they have a multiple goal lead, they will not sit back. That is simply not in their team DNA. That's not the culture that they've built there for this team. They're a champion caliber team. They've won the championships, and part of that is because they never give up and they never sit back. And that's something that Färjestad will have to learn right there. And, take that away from Game 3 and try to somehow come back and salvage a win here in Game 4 to knot this series back up. Otherwise, you're down by 2 games and only, you can only lose 1 more game before you're eliminated. That's going to be a tough task for Färjestad.
A tremendous opportunity in Game 3 for Färjestad to snatch the 2-1 series lead. It slips out of their hands. Now pressure's on. Linköping take that 3-1 series lead. It is all but over here in this best of 7. Let's see how these two teams respond. Again, it was a slow start for Linköping in Game 3 in the first period, but they battled their way back all game long. Färjestad perhaps coasted for a bit too long. Loimu has it at the point here for LHC. Chance slap shot and an early save by Rundqvist. Loimu took a huge hit there to try and make that play. He recovers his stick. Now here's Jay Toro. Tries to send it back down low. Playmaker wasn't there. And a free possession now here for Färjestad. But again, a turnover there from Totali. Not able to make that pass to Bastion. Again, though, Färjestad able to recover the puck. See what they can do here. Miza back to help the defense. Pass up the middle. Intercepted by Potzloff. Here's Eki. Has Playmaker with him. Tried to pass over. It was poked away. Eki still in the corner. Circling and looking for space. Loimu now down low to Playmaker. Throws it in front to Eki. Doesn't go. Potzloff banks it off the back of the net. It goes all the way back to the neutral zone. And a good job there by Loimu to protect the puck from Afe. He gets it up to Eki. The chance for Potzloff. And again, Loimu stepping up nearly made the play. 3-on-2 developing for Färjestad, but the errant pass not on target. A chance here now for Linköping on the counter. Here's Playmaker over the line. Has Eki with him, who's in possession of it now. Around the back, Rapid doesn't go. He's still in possession. Jay Toro at the point, looking for space. Here's Eki in front for Playmaker. Potzloff was hanging around there too. Couldn't find it. Here's Miza for Färjestad. Looking. Has a bit of room. Throws it across. Good interception by Potzloff. The centers on display right now in terms of defensive ability. Space here. Eki for Playmaker. What a stop! Unbelievable save there by Rundqvist. And somehow this game is still without the opening goal. Huge chance there yet again for Linköping as Eki took another huge hit as he has throughout this broadcast so far. As Afe nearly able to pick that one off. Loimu was there. Bastian, big step up hit. No charging call on the play. This puck kicked all the way back down to the Linköping zone. Loimu looking to really hit him with their own medicine, but just missed time. Face off back down the other way.
I mean, we just got to rewind the clock back a bit right there and just give credit where credit's due. Rundqvist, an incredible job to slide over and stop that one-timer, and Linköping coming off much stronger here in the beginning, and Färjestad struggling to even gain some zone time, but here they are here. Maybe they can get some offense out of it.
Bastian trying to hold on to it. Miza there to help him, but Potzloff comes up with it for Linköping. Tries to get over the line clean, but he can't. Good job there on defense. The job well done indeed. Chance now for Färjestad here. 7.5 to go in the first period of Game 4 as Miza can't hold on to that one. So Färjestad really outside of that first period of Game 3, struggling to get that offensive consistency thus far here in this cast. Chance down low. Potzloff for Eki. Kicks it all the way back to the point. Back down low again. Eki looking. It's Loimu across for Playmaker. Eki had a chance on it as well. A penalty is taken. It's going to be an interference call. Linköping going to the power play. That is going to be Bastian taking a seat for Färjestad.
Yeah, and it looked like he was just trying to, try to move the one-times out of the way. Got a bit too much contact there, and he's going to have to sit for 2 minutes. This is a big opportunity for Linköping to sort of get their power play going a bit more. They haven't been too successful with it, but, time and time again, they keep getting chances. They will capitalize.
Face off one. Playmaker space. Nearly picked the corner. A very familiar sight there. Essentially the same setup as the Game 3 winner, but this time Rundqvist able to make the stop.
Yeah, and it looked like he was trying to bait him by looking to that short side, then adjust his body, but that time Rundqvist not fooled.
Loimu throws it across. Eki's able to recover. Now Jay Toro at the point. Plenty of time for LHC to work with here on the man advantage. Playmaker circles. Loimu now Eki. Trying to find that bit of space. Jay Toro, Playmaker. Short side doesn't go. Good stop again from the Färjestad netminder. Jay Toro stops that one from going all the way down. And Linköping will be right back on the attack. Eki now Loimu gains the zone. Finding a little bit of space. Playmaker looking. Takes the hit from Miza, who's able to clear it as well. Great job by the center. 10 seconds to go here on the man advantage. Let's see how this one plays out. Eki over the line. Has a couple of options here. Nearly tests the short side. Loimu, Playmaker! A gigantic goal for Linköping. They grab the lead. A one-time bomb. And Linköping in control of the series and in control of this game.
And that's not a power play goal, but it's one of those power play influenced goals. Bastian was coming out of the box, trying to get back into the play, and Playmaker finding the spot in the high slot for the one-time opportunity. And Rundqvist, not a whole lot he could have done there. A great pass right there to set Playmaker up for that. And, well, the league's leading goal scorer, probably not going to miss too many from that location.
Sin, we may in fact be witnessing the Cinderella story be coming to a close. What an opportunity for Färjestad, but now again trailing in this series after falling short in Game 3, trailing here in the early stages of Game 4. Eki comes up with a Jay Toro shot, denied. A good recovery save there by Rundqvist, but again, right now, as if the road back wasn't hard enough, it just got a lot more difficult.
Yeah, and we have not seen Färjestad really get any time and space in this game. Linköping much more aware. Every time a puck goes loose in the defensive zone, either J. Toro or Loimu will drop back almost towards their own blue line just to make sure that no long stretch passes are coming that Afe can kind of capitalize on.
Loimu, toe drag, steps in, can't get the shot off. Final minute of play here, another turnover, Sin. It's almost as if Linköping are playing with, a little bit of spite. Chance for J. Toro, drops back. Potsloff, I can't believe he didn't shoot. Chance at the buzzer, but it doesn't go. Playmaker nearly finds another one. Huge moments there for Linköping to double the lead heading in to the second period, but they don't take advantage of it. But Sin, like I was mentioning and kind of alluding towards, it's almost like Linköping are playing with a bit of anger and saying, yeah, no, you're done. This is our game. This is our series, because they are shutting everything down and have really stepped up their game compared to what we saw really through Game 2 and the beginning of Game 3.
Yeah, and you can't help but, feel for Färjestad, just kind of, especially letting that Game 3 slip away from them. And then, you had to sort of try to put the pressure on the Linköping. Look at that stat line. 10 shots, 4.5 minutes time on attack, 0 shots for Färjestad, and not even a minute of time on attack. That is, that's a hungry Linköping team, and they're making a statement right here in this first period. Still only, the 1-goal lead here. But with the way they're shutting things down and the way they're being ultra careful of not allowing Färjestad to really get any time and space when they know they can make so much happen from a little, but it's very tough for Färjestad right now. And you said it, we might be witnessing the beginning of the end of this wonderful Cinderella story by the 8th seed right here. But time will tell. You never know what can happen. Just when we think they're out of it, just when we think they're getting dominated, they find a way. So we'll see what happens here in the second.
Playmaker for Potsloff in front, does not go. Sin, we've solved the mystery of the changing player icons. It would appear to be Eki changing controller settings in between periods. I think he just slightly adjusts pass assist, and as a result, Färjestad's icons have changed. So hey, we have discovered a mystery of NHL 20 in May. It's nearly June, but you never know when you're going to discover something new. Chance here for Eki now. Sends it down low. Playmaker in possession. Has a few options. Likes to go back to the point. Now back down low again. Eki around the back. J. Toro. Great cycle here from LHC. Taking advantage of the space. Potsloff back in front. Eki there. Can't pull the trigger on the shot. Rundqvist will make the cover. Not the start FBK needed.
Yeah, and once again, on the ropes, and Linköping just does such a good job at that. They seize the advantage, and they keep pushing. They keep tightening the screws on Färjestad.
Chance here now, though, if they can make the pass. Bastion, or not Bastion, again, the color changes. Eki, we thank you for that. I'll need to understand the mentality behind the slight pass assist adjustments. I want to know the minutia of the moves. Chance here, though, for Potsloff. Now Playmaker takes the hit there from Miza. Now again, the opportunity. Playmaker just can't put it home, but again, it's going to be Linköping going back to the man advantage. It's going to be a high sticking call. Didn't see on who. That is Rubitus, who will be taking a seat, the left defenseman for Färjestad.
Yeah, and that's not what they want, especially with how strong the defensemen of Färjestad have been in helping them keep the puck out of the net. But another opportunity for that Linköping power play to get to work.
Absolutely. Let's see how this one goes down. They win the draw. Set play here. Playmaker off the back of the net. Loose puck is covered. Do it again in terms of the face-offs here. Let's see how this one plays out. Opportunity again here for Linköping to double up their lead. They're up 2-1 now in this series. Again, a huge opportunity, but this one goes to waste. Miza wins the draw. The clear doesn't go all the way out. Afe, great job, though, to cut that one off at the pass and make sure it's sent all the way down. Plenty of time to work with here, though, for Linköping. Here's Loimu. He'll bring it over the line. Easy zone access there. Miza, great job in defense. He's able to come up with it, but can't clear. Potsloff has a couple options at front. Playmaker can't hit it on the backhand. Eki taking the slap shot. Looking for a move. Give and go with Potsloff. Great movement. J. Toro can't pick the corner. Miza recovers the loose puck. We'll hold on to it here. 20 seconds to go on the man advantage. It's Afe. Sneaks past Loimu. has Playmaker there to assist, and Loimo's able to recover. Great job, though, by Playmaker on defense. Färjestad, though, perhaps a chance to really get back into this one fresh off of the kill. And they gave up a goal in the closing moments, after a prior penalty kill attempt where they were successful. But again, as Sin mentioned, really the carryover effect. But they've done a great job of neutralizing it on this particular occasion. Rubitas knocked off the puck. Loimo shot on, handled well by Rundqvist. Playmaker was there charging the net. Färjestad struggling to find a way to gain that offensive zone consistency. As again, Linköping shutting down the neutral zone to near perfection at this stage of the series. Jay Toro, stretch pass for Eki, has a bit of room, drives the net around the back now. Chance for Jay Toro, doesn't find its way home. Opportunity here, now they have the rush. Bastion in possession, loses it though. Again, nearly picture-perfect defense here. There's really only so many ways to sum it up. That's arguably the best one that I can find. Linköping have been phenomenal.
Yeah, they're just not giving Färjestad anything. I mean, we talk about so often how Färjestad can just make something happen out of so little, but Linköping is giving them nothing. Even if they gain the blue line, they try to protect the puck, they're instantly bumped off. You try to get Afe some space. Well, there's one, maybe even two defensemen back there, prepared to bump them off the puck. And with that smaller build, there really is no balance. So puck possession is hard to come by, and the speed game is being taken away by Linköping's defense as well. So it's like, if you're Färjestad, what can you do?
Not a whole hell of a lot if Game 4 has been anything to go off of. Shot there, Kappe with the save. Perhaps a bit of a momentum boost again for Färjestad. That was a good offensive opportunity. Shot on by Playmaker. Loose puck recovered. Bastion's there, but he can't find the outlet pass. 3.5 to go here in the second period of Game 4. Again, Färjestad blowing a 2-0 lead in Game 3, losing in a regulation by the score of 3-2. The defending champions, Linköping, really looking to set the stage to close out this series in 5. Again, Game 5 will be right here tomorrow, same time, as we'll see how that one goes down and whether or not indeed it'll be essentially a best of 3 at that point, or if Linköping will have that 3-1 lead as Potzloff can't get a hold of that one. Maiza has a couple of options, sends it down. Afe is going to win the race, but he can't get to the puck. Big hit there and a delayed call. The step up by Totali does not pay off. Chance here. Eki can't drag it home, but another power play. Again, the charge on Totali, if I'm not mistaken, and indeed that is confirmed. I mean, Sin, you got to do what you got to do to try and get some offense, but that is not a wise penalty.
Yeah, that's something that they just couldn't afford right there. It's a good effort from Afe to beat out the icing, but the angle he had to take to do so, ran him into the net. He couldn't get the puck. Totally on the attack, trying to make something happen, takes the penalty, and once again, you start to get a sliver of hope. Linköping takes it away.
Goes wide. Playmaker not able to regain possession. So, Sin, that'll bring us to the end of the second period. If there's any hope here for Färjestad, it's that the game is still close.
Yeah, I mean, you're getting pretty much dominated, yet, you're right within striking distance. All you need is a bounce. You're right back in the game, and Färjestad has seemed to get those bounces, but to get those bounces, you have to have it in the offensive zone. You have to be able to put shots on the net, and I'm not sure, but I think they only have maybe one registered shot and maybe two throughout the entire first 2 periods. One registered shot. That's simply not good enough.
So would that be 4 shots registered now through 5 periods of play?
I believe so. And Linköping, I mean, credit to them for doing what they need to do. But yeah, it's simply for, if you're Färjestad, it's just not there. It's just not quite enough. You have to find some other way to attack here. Interesting defensive strategy, and Eki almost weaves his way through. Just the stick right there. He couldn't quite get to the backhand in time to weave his way through. But, as I said, Färjestad, they can still strike. They still have time, but it is getting dangerous. They're on the penalty kill once again, and that was the key. You can't keep going back to it. Not only are you giving your opponent a chance to score, you're not allowing yourself to get the puck into the offensive zone too, and with the chances this hard to come by, shooting yourself in the foot is probably not the best option, but here we go. We'll see what they're able to do.
A defensive display, perhaps a sign of a demoralized team. They need something here. Pots off for Playmaker! He scores! That is not what Färjestad needed. It's a power play goal for Linköping. They double the lead. It's now 2-0. Who else would it be? Playmaker, 26 seconds into the third period.
And Playmaker just continues to score. That's what he does best. And Linköping now with a 2-goal lead in the third period. It wasn't enough for Färjestad, but it just might be enough here for the defending champs. They have looked absolutely unconscious through the first 2 periods and really throughout the first 2 games here. I mean, they're firing on all cylinders. They're not giving any time and space to Färjestad. And interesting celebration getting stuck headfirst into the net right there. You love to see it. This game is perfect. Doesn't need any changes.
Absolutely not. I mean, we've seen a weird glitch in terms of player color indicators, and it's just, great game. Great game. Linköping back in possession here. Playmaker, 2 goals in this game, perhaps looking for the hat trick. So throws it across, though. For Loimu, it just doesn't go. Potzloff shots on, picked out of the air. I believe it's Jack Edwards who called that one. The best color commentator, or not even a color commentator, the best commentator in the game. He could be the best color commentator as well. How's that one a can of corn, Sin? Your thoughts?
I'm just going to ignore the Jack Edwards reference, but a great deflection from Loimu there.
Shot on by Potzloff, doesn't find its way through. Another chance for Loimu. He continues to step up. So you see Eki back in defense, looking to cut out Afe, and really for Färjestad, without having that quick outlet option, they've struggled to get over the line. Maiza just smothered the second he crosses the line. Jay Toro not able to work his way through. Chance here again, quickly taken away. Linköping back on the attack. Here's Eki. Couple of options in front. Loose puck. Potzloff has it, but he can't pull the trigger. In possession again here now. Playmaker, slap shot, glove save as Rukvist plays it out. I mean, Playmaker really continuing to test that glove side. Rukvist up to the challenge here. Hit there, but no interference call. Linköping back in possession. 6 minutes gone here in the third period. Scramble for it. Playmaker comes up with it. Rubitus is back to defend. Playmaker, the move, can't find a way through. It hasn't been the overly pretty goals for Playmaker, but he's really been able to find the back of the net in the ways that he needs to. As a shot on there does not find its way through either. Trouble for Totali, but he's able to find Bastion on the breakout pass. Circles around. Now it's Maiza trying to hold it at the line. Playmaker has it. Little bit of space. Totali chasing him down. Playmaker over for Jay Toro as it just doesn't go through. Färjestad still struggling to find that offensive touch. Now down by 2. Bastion over the line, holds on to it. Playmaker wins it back nearly immediately, draws the trip from Bastion. Eki in possession here. Tried to find Playmaker, he couldn't do it. Another power play for Linköping. Sin, a bad situation continues to get worse.
Yeah, the dominoes just seem to be falling, tumbling down, and we're seeing such a magical sort of run and season, perhaps just getting more and more grim here for the 8 seed of Färjestad. Another penalty, that's 4 in the game for them right here. Not a winning strategy, and Linköping with a chance to really put the dagger in their back here on the power play.
Tie up on the draw. Loose puck is recovered by Färjestad. Stretch pass there for Afe doesn't go. Looks to give chase, but Loimu handles it incredibly well. Linköping right back on the attack. Eki over the line, drops back for Loimu again, and again down low. Eki for Loimu. Shot, scores! Linköping, a dagger straight through the heart of Färjestad as a team, perhaps as a fan base as well. Loimu able to get on the board. Sin, I mean, we talked about it. He led all defensemen in goals in the regular season. He's always a threat. He takes advantage on the power play. This one is all but over.
And they're starting to get rewarded for their troubles, especially. Jay Toro and Loimu have done such a good job today in games 3 and 4, not allowing Afe to get free. They're like a prison, a personal prison for Afe, just not allowing him to get any time and space. And, now, as I said, getting rewarded on the scoring sheet, as they have been throughout the entire year. Just so sneaky in the way they creep into the offensive zone. Just look at the stat line, though. It's getting ugly, and it's continuing to get uglier. And Linköping, they're not going to let off the gas pedal. We know that. We could see close to 30 shots in this game, and Färjestad still with just 1 registered shot.
Sin, you mentioned it. It's like a personal prison. Perhaps my own prison. Should have been dead on a Sunday morning. Shout out to Creed and Scott Stapp. You're still relevant in 2020, at least according to me. Which, Another great reference. 6 feet from the edge are Färjestad right now on the verge of disaster and seeing their season ended as another shot's rifled wide. How many Creed references can I make? Too many as Rundqvist hands it to Playmaker, but it's going to be waved off for goaltender interference. A little bit of contact there. Not sure I really, how fair that is. Potzloff catching the left leg, and I don't expect this one to count.
I don't think it will. Usually the goaltender interferences just simply don't get recalled into a goal, but that's, we're starting to see the mental errors now. We're looking at a Färjestad team who just seems as they have accepted defeat here in this game, which has just not been their character throughout, any of the playoffs so far.
Base thrown across, Afe couldn't get the shot on. Went for the big 360 spin, not what he would have hoped for there. That was the really brightest spot offensively for Färjestad here in Game 4. Playmaker nearly walks his way through. Can't find the space, though. Misa intercepted on the back check. Playmaker does it again. Unbelievable stuff. Here's Potzloff yet again. Dishes it off for Loimu. Now it's Eki. Tries to throw it in front. Can't do it. Misa battling Potzloff, and he's able to come up with it. 5 minutes to play here. Färjestad, if anything, playing for pride. It is now 6 unanswered goals for Linköping between Games 3 and 4. And again, it looks like Game 5 is going to be the chance for Linköping to end this series. They will have a 3-1 series lead heading into tomorrow, where only one game is guaranteed. And if we see a performance like this at a Färjestad, again, it's going to be the last game of their season. Eki finds the space and the back of the net, and it continues to get worse. Linköping running away with it.
And we knew this was going to happen. There's no quit in Linköping. They're going to run up the score. They don't care about your feelings. They care about their stats, and they care about the wins, and they care about championships. And Eki right there just with yet another dagger, a 5-hole goal, a great little give and go on the boards there, down low in the corner, back to him, and he sneaks it 5-hole. And from bad to worse for Färjestad, and yeah, you said it. It's going to take a miracle now for them to come back on Thursday.
Absolutely. I mean, again, right now, if you're Färjestad, you might be wishing that it was a best of 5 as opposed to a best of 7. Chance scores! It's Afe! Wishing, I'm sure he and everyone around FBK are currently wishing that I got to say that a little bit earlier in this game, but the shutouts ruin there. Afe finds the back of the net yet again.
Yeah, gets to play a bit of spoiler right there, and I think that's what they needed to be doing a bit more earlier in this game, just kind of throwing it on net when they got a chance. It seemed like they wanted the perfect opportunity a bit more, which was, again, sort of counterintuitive from even what they said their game plan should have been. Like, they knew they weren't going to get, a lot of chances. They just had to take what was given to them. They did that right there, but too little too late. There's only about 2 minutes here left in the third, and yes, there's a real-time minute, but I just don't see them getting 3 goals here. But again, crazier things have happened. We'll see if Linköping shows some holes in their armor.
Absolutely. I mean, again, Sim, we've talked about it with Färjestad. It's the 8th seed. You needed help to make it into the playoffs. You pull off the upset in just 5 games over the number 1 seed. But here and now, I mean, again, we talked about it. We speculated, would that attempt? Here's a chance for Afe. He's not onside. The late call there from the scoreboard. But, we talked about it in terms of the reviewed goal for Potzloff. It ends up counting, and now it's been essentially all Linköping up until that goal there from Afe. Whether or not they're going to be able to battle back, you have to win 3 straight games against the defending champions heading into tomorrow. Whether or not that's possible, it's certainly perhaps unprecedented. I'm not even sure. HAVU certainly didn't win 3 in a row. A chance here for Playmaker between the legs. Can't find the pass through. Opportunity again now. They just hold it down low. Jay Toro does a great job. Eki wins it back. Actually, it wasn't Jay Toro. Again, the confusion with the indicators here. Linköping back to the man advantage. An interference call as this will be Bastion taking a seat yet again.
And, I think we're going to see a set play off the draw, and we're going to see Linköping try to get one more. They want no doubt who the better team is at this point. They are just simply flexing their muscles here. 20 seconds left. Plenty of time, but a misread right there by Jay Toro.
Absolutely. 15 seconds to play. Potzloff for Playmaker. Can't pull the trigger, but still has it. Eki fighting for it as well. Potzloff can't again get the shot off. Misa content to wind down the clock. Linköping perhaps not accepting of that. Sin, that will do it. A statement made today by the defending champions in Linköping. Färjestad with a little bit of hope at times. But again, we look back to Game 3. They're up 2-0. The goal that stands after a review from Potzloff, and from there, all Linköping consistently up until the points where Afe is at least able to get the goal to break the shutout bid for Kape of Linköping. But, you know, at the end of the day, Sin, it's been a tremendous story for Färjestad. You're not out of it. And again, a friendly reminder, games 5, potentially up to 7, will be covered tomorrow night, tomorrow afternoon, of course, if you're on the East Coast here, in the good old US of A. Feels weird to say the good old US of A at this point. It used to be good a long time ago. That said, all things considered, political 24 here. How you doing? For Färjestad, I mean, we know where it went wrong. We know how it went wrong. We knew in terms of this series and what it would be, that it would be, okay, few opportunities, you have to take advantage of them. But beyond the first period of Game 3, in terms of, few opportunities, it turned into no opportunities.
Yeah.
And that's why Linköping ran away with it.
Yeah, and that's just how good Linköping is. I mean, Färjestad, they've always seemed to be able to get their opportunities and capitalize on them, and we're still looking for that. They're able to do it a bit there in Game 1, but at a certain point when Linköping just shores up everything and doesn't allow you anything, and then you're not going to score, quite plain and simply. If there's no chances, you can't score, and Linköping just seemed to take, just complete control. And it was, we saw why they're defending champions. And, in that they struggled in Game 2. They self-admittedly, they made some mistakes, and the mark of a good team is coming back and completely fixing all of those mistakes. And they did that right here. They got down early, scary moment there in Game 3, but then they had that 3-goal third period. And that was, I think, really almost, you kind of feel it's the beginning of the end for Färjestad. You have a chance to take the lead in the series. Maybe you sit back too much, and Linköping just makes you pay.
Absolutely. I mean, again, once Linköping got going, there was really no way back. That momentum was too strong. And ultimately, again, you kind of, I don't want to say take your foot off the gas, but you had a chance to really make a statement in Game 3. It slips. That momentum continues to go the other way through Game 4. Now Linköping, 1 game away from making it back to the final with a chance to repeat as champions. We shift our focus from that series. Again, Game 5 coming up tomorrow afternoon. We cannot guarantee you more than that. That is solely down to Färjestad. But coming up now, for the rest of this broadcast, we'll be back after a short intermission with Games 3 and 4. HAVU Gaming and hREDS. HAVU, a chance to punch their ticket to the final if they can pull off the sweep. hREDS trying to make sure that we see them in action tomorrow as well. We'll be back after a short break. Stick with us. And we are back. Welcome back, everybody, again to this continued presentation of the ECL Elite Division postseason right here on NHL Gamer. Of course, brought to you in part by ISC Sports and Prisma Gaming, as always, and we thank them very much. My name is Tukey, joined as always by my broadcast partner, Sin. And Sin, again, we change our focus from one series on to another. HAVU Gaming up 2-0 on hREDS and looking to punch their ticket back to the final. We talked about it all year long, their redemption quest after really kind of slipping up in the finals of last year and allowing Linköping back into it. Linköping ultimately winning. We knew that they'd be on this redemption tour. They're just 2 wins away now from getting their chance at another title.
Yeah, so far, undefeated through the playoffs. They swept the first series. They have a chance to do the same today. But hREDS putting up a bit of a fight. Again, the first 2 games went to overtime. The second one, triple overtime. So HAVU maybe, a harder road than they perhaps imagined or even wanted. But, they're going to have to deal with a very tough hREDS team. And I don't see them going away anytime soon. They have 3 very dangerous forwards and a solid defensive scheme.
Sin, you want to talk about hREDS not going away. The biggest talking point for this team right now has to be the fact that they have had 9 postseason games 7 of them have gone to overtime, including their last 6 games. There was two triple overtimes, as a matter of fact, in that span. So buckle up, grab a drink, grab some popcorn, maybe grab 2 bags, because there's a chance that we are going to be here for quite a while. With that said, let's take a look at the lineups. You see hREDS there on the left, Yoki, Benito, and of course the young prodigy, Nicky Dangles. Sin, an interesting point here, though, on defense, perhaps our biggest talking point. There is no Janzu today. King of Apes slotting in at left defense next to Teemu, and of course Nikke between the pipes. On the flip side, Pawanso, Dominointi, and Flyer Kungan, the captain, of course. Nasu and Villikun on defense, Hanselinho between the pipes. But you don't often see a lineup change when a team is down 2-0 in a playoff series.
Yeah, not often, especially with how close the games were and especially how good hREDS looked, in the 7 games against a tough Unlucky Boys team. I mean, Unlucky Boys, again, bit of an underdog story, but they were very, very good in the latter half of the year. So, yeah, it's interesting to see, hREDS kind of with that lineup change, and we'll see kind of, if it jumps out to us, the reason they're doing it. I know we've seen King of Apes very good at kind of entering the zone with Yoki. I mean, it's a very small sample size, only 2 games played in the regular season, but when they did play those, we did get to cover that one, and he and Yoki on that left wing side were very good at getting zone entries.
Absolutely. Now, Sim, before we get into the individual breakdowns, there was another interview conducted earlier today, but intriguingly enough, not with a player, but with the GM of hREDS. Let's hear from Krister Kasurainen and see what he has to say about this series at this stage.
Hey guys, Sin back here again, this time with Krister Kasurainen, the general manager of hREDS. So this is your guys' first season here in 6'S esports. How's it been as an experience? Anything that's kind of taking you by surprise here?
I think the whole team was a bit surprised there at the beginning of the season. It was a bit of a rough start, but I think that after a while the guys got used to the ECL elite standard of doing things, and afterwards from there on out it's gone pretty good. Basically, I kind of knew already what to expect. Personally, is that we've talked with Kenneth a lot about how he structured the whole thing and such. So was kind of a familiar concept already.
Yeah, so yeah, definitely, rough start indeed, but now in the semifinals, which is in itself, an achievement. You're playing a big rival of yours right now, in the Finnish esports scene. HAVU Gaming, definitely kind of on their own revenge tour and their own stuff to prove. But how exciting is that going up against a rival? And I gotta ask, is there any trash talk going on behind the scenes?
No, actually, not even behind the scenes. We actually had a bit of a miscommunication there already in Twitter about it before games 1 and 2, but it's Lasse Salminen and Sani Leino, kind of the headmen of the HAVU organization. It's it's been this fun banter, going back and forwards. It's both of the teams are from the capital area, and they made this sort of a notion that they have the only team here in Helsinki, and I actually posted them a little picture of their company's information that they're actually situated in Vantaa, which is the nearing city to Helsinki. So that is kind of the basis I built the whole thing upon, and now it's been going back and forth a bit, but all good fun, all good fun.
Yeah, so a little bit of a turf warfare going on between you two guys.
Yeah, as always.
It's all right. So, hREDS there, your team losing the first 2 games in overtime there, and the second one going all the way as far as, triple overtime with the time taken in, with the disconnect. How would you describe those games, and kind of what can you take from those?
No more penalties. I'd actually say, of course, the overtimes are kind of the thing that I think that the viewers like them always, because you get NHL for the full money's worth. Mm-hmm. Also can now apologize from the casters that you've been doing a bit longer shifts with spectating and casting our games. But yeah, in a sense, it's been a good learning experience, and it's I think today we'll be seeing a team that is taking a lot less penalties. And it kind of seemed there already at the end of the second game, is that we were already controlling the pace of the game and everything, but then fell a bit short. And there was this moment that we were a bit hesitant on what we're doing, and HAVU scored immediately from that.
Yeah, just those little moments that can kill your momentum. So, as a general manager, kind of I guess you could say the brains of the organization here. Do you have any advice for the guys tonight, or do you just kind of let them focus on the games on their own and prepare as they do?
Kind of like what I said to the guys already when they entered the organization is that I told them that what they do is what they do the best. So I'm kind of like the figure that I help if needed, but I'll also stay on the background if I am not kind of like needed. So to put it simply is that they do it much more better than I do, and I just provide assistance where I can.
All right. Well, we appreciate your time very much. Thank you, and good luck to your team tonight.
Let's go hREDS team.
Again, Krister Kasarinen, as it would be said. Sin certainly better at handling pronunciations that he is prepared for. But you know, Sin, the good thing is we've had plenty of time to prepare for proper pronunciation when it comes to everybody involved in this lineup. So I am very thankful for that. You get a look at the center matchup here. It is the captain of hREDS, Benito, slotting in against Dominointi of HAVU Gaming. And Sin, both of these two certainly on their game through the postseason, as they were throughout all of the regular season as well.
Yeah, both of these guys a huge part in the offensive forces for their teams, and not just that, very good on the defensive side of things. I mean, it's so many occasions where we say Benito on the back check intercepting a puck, and Dominointi, same thing. Again, when you're playing, you know, with guys like Puanso and Färjestad, if you're Dominointi, you're going to get mentioned a bit less, but that's such a disservice. He is such a great center on all ends of the puck, and, you know, the face-off battle between these two guys, pretty even as well.
It would be 31-24 in favor of HAVU, so a 56% win percentage for Dominointi through the first two games of this series. We'll see if that continues. Moving over to the winger battle as well for HAVU, we have the captain of the team, Flyer Kungen, and Paul Alonso on the left-hand side against Yoki and Nicky Dangles. And of course, Sin, as always, an interesting battle. Yoki, of course, you know, one of the more interesting players, 6th most shots in the regular season. But, you know, in the 2 games plus all of the overtimes that we've seen in this series thus far, he's only had 5 shots. HAVU's done a tremendous job of shutting him down.
Definitely. I mean, and that's kind of what HAVU does best, is shutting down the threats. And, you know, we have two guys like Yoki and Nicky Dangles there, absolutely dangerous. And HAVU, we talk about it all the time. They just seem to have layers of defense. Even when they're being aggressive, they're still defending at all times, and they just seem to move as one. And it's very hard to sort of penetrate their layers of defense. But Yoki, Nicky Dangles, if you're going to have any two wingers to try to do that, it's going to be these two guys. Very dangerous in their own right. And when they get their down low cycle going, they look very dangerous, almost as dangerous as HAVU.
Absolutely. Now, Sin, of course, to round things off here with the interviews that you conducted earlier before this broadcast, you got a chance to speak again with the captain of the team, Flyer Kungen of HAVU Gaming. See what he had to say about this series as it stands.
How's it going, guys? Sin here with Flyer Kungen of HAVU Gaming. So I got to ask you, you know, you guys took both the games 1 and 2 in overtime, continuing your undefeated streak so far here in the playoffs. You know, how did you feel about your team's play in those first 2 games against hREDS?
Well, I think we played pretty good. Like, they scored 4 goals, and I said to my guys before the games, if we don't let them score more than 2 goals per game, I think we should be in pretty good situation and win the games then, and we succeed. And I think we can still play even better. So I'm pretty happy how we played on Monday.
Yeah, so, you know, even with the 2-0 lead in the series, you know, are you guys looking to make some adjustments moving forward to kind of avoid those closer games and, you know, the kind of the nerves there?
No, we are not thinking that too much. Like, I think we just should play game by game and respect the result. And if we lose some game, it doesn't matter. It's only 1 game. We aim to get the 4 wins before they do, and we want to go to the finals. Yeah, it's kind of simple.
Yeah, definitely. So today, obviously, you know, no secret, you guys have the chance to pick up 2 wins and advance. You know, what do you think the key factor will be to sort of make that happen here today?
Just to keep the level of play as high as you can. Like, I saw that they made some roster changes, so it's going to be interesting how it will affect their game. They King of Apes, he's fun guy to play against. He's always chirping and doing some stuff off the ice, and I think it gives me a little more motivation to play when he is playing on the opposite side.
Well, that's going to be a bit scary. A bit more of a motivated Färjestad that we'll see today. Well, best of luck in these two games, and thanks for taking the time with us.
Thank you.
So, Sin, you called it a bit more of a motivated captain for HAVU, which could spell disaster for hREDS, as we get a look again at the defensive matchup here. Again, King of Apes slotting in on that left-hand side in favor of Janzu, which is an extremely interesting move. I'm not sure, again, if that's intentional. I presume it isn't, and that Janzu's availability just wasn't there. Again, you talk about that left-hand side for Janzu, 5 points in 7 games to start the series, but one of our talking points was going to be how he and Teemu have been shut down a little bit so far through the series, where on the other side of things, Nasistelia and Villikun also struggling a little bit. They were one of the best defensive tandems in terms of goal scoring in the regular season with 17, but they only combined for 5 assists in the first 2 games of the series with no goals. So it's going to be very intriguing to see if they can find that goal scoring touch.
Yeah, and you expect HAVU, the defenseman, to get in on the scoring sheet, but yeah, you said it. Both of them really prolific at being able to find the goals and, simply unable to do that. But yeah, I'm very intrigued to see what King of Apes is going to bring to the table. We heard from Färjestad, there's a bit of a psychological side to King of Apes games. He's always kind of out there, chirping and before games, on social media, and things like that. So HAVU, they say they're a bit more motivated, but if they find themselves in a hole and I don't know, King of Apes is out there starting to bounce on some people, maybe you start gripping those controllers a bit tighter and a bit more of a chance to make some mistakes for HAVU.
Potentially so. Let's take a look at our final individual matchup here. It is the battle of the goaltenders. As for HAVU Gaming, of course, Hans Salinho, again, the main man between the pipes for that team. For hREDS, though, of course, we talked about it. A little bit of a goaltender duel throughout the regular season, but Nikke has been the man for them throughout this postseason, and rightfully so. He has really, been off to a strong start throughout this postseason, even if the numbers are perhaps not exactly, strong numbers through the semifinal. The numbers that we're talking about here would be the number of wins for hREDS. You want to look at why they're trailing in this series. It doesn't have to do with Nikke's play. He's been phenomenal.
No, absolutely not. He's made the saves that he needs to make, and he's faced flurry of chances at times, and he always seems to be able to make the first, sometimes even second and third save, and you want that from your goaltender. You need someone to help bail you out back there, and that's what Nikke has been able to do. And when it comes to Hans Salinho, same sort of deal. Solid numbers, good goals against, a couple shutouts to his name, which came in the first series where, HAVU absolutely dominated. But, it's so close to call. They're both excellent goaltenders. They both make some big saves, and we might just be destined for some more overtimes.
Could potentially be the case. Again, Hans Salinho, a tremendous start to this postseason run. Not the best start that he would have hoped for here in round 2, yet his team still has a 2-0 series lead. With that, let's get to the individual breakdowns here. The keys to the game, the keys to success for these 2 games here in this broadcast. Again, games 3 and 4. If hREDS win a single game, we'll see these 2 teams in action tomorrow as well. Of course, game 5 on deck, Linköping and Färjestad. Of course, now a 3-1 series lead for Linköping in that series. So kicking things off with the keys for HAVU. And Sin, really, we've kind of alluded towards these keys, throughout this breakdown here. But in terms of cleaning up the transition game, we talked about it a lot. Is it the chicken or the egg situation here? Are we seeing an uncharacteristic amount of offsides in this series so far due to HAVU's own play, or is it the blue line control of hREDS? Regardless, it was an extremely noticeable flaw in HAVU's game through the first 2 games of the series. We talked about it a bit when Linköping had some struggles early on in game 3 as well. So the top teams having some uncharacteristic moments, but then we saw Linköping return to form. I suspect we'll see HAVU return to form in that regard as well. Point number 2, keeping the pressure on. hREDS have had the tendency of battling back in this series, as we talked about, the amount of overtime games. Both games in this series have gone to overtimes thus far. Any opportunity can cost you a game in this extremely close series. We kind of saw it in that Färjestad, game 3, where you give a team a chance to get back into it. and they do. So for HAVU, keep your foot on the gas. Do not give hREDS a chance to get back into this, in terms of one game at a time, the series in general. Anything can happen. And the third point, consistency in goal. Again, with Hanselinho, we just talked about it. An outlandish 900 save percentage in the first round through 4 games, stopping 36 of 40 shots against. But so far in this series, stopping just 10 of 14. But as I just mentioned, HAVU's still on top, 2 games to none. So, tough for hREDS to not take advantage of the opportunities, with Hanselinho being a little bit off his game. That said, Sin, for hREDS, what's it going to take for them to crawl their way back into this series?
Well, the first point right here is live by the sword. We talked about the potential penalty issues, facing hREDS, and, they are the most penalized team in the playoffs. And it's not just necessarily the amount of penalties that they take, but it's when they take them. It always seems to be when they are starting to have a bit of advantage, and, maybe not necessarily on the scoring sheet, but it's all about momentum. It's hREDS took 5 compared to 0 of HAVU, and that just can't happen. They killed every single one of them off, but HAVU has the league's second-rated power play throughout the regular season. Again, against these good teams, if you keep giving them chances, eventually they will capitalize. Second point here is activated defense. Now, Yanzu and Teemu were both up there in terms of scoring in the regular season, and, against Unlucky Boys in the first round, they were also very good in that. But in this series so far, in the first 2 games, no points and just 1 shot apiece. And now, we see, Yanzu stepping out and King of Apes slotting in. So, maybe he'll be able to bring a bit more offense to the back end right there, because hREDS, they're going to need it here. And the third and final point here, limiting the high danger chances. Nikke, has been hREDS number 1. Now, it was a battle in the regular season, but he has proven himself throughout these playoffs, and he comes up clutch oftentimes when it's most needed at the tail end of the third period. He's stopped 40 out of 46 shots so far, and if his team can start limiting the amount of high-quality chances that go against him, then, hREDS is going to have a real chance to start inching their way back in this series against HAVU Gaming.
Absolutely, Sin. We are moments away from puck drop here again. Game 3 coming up. Now, everything that we've talked about, of course, really setting the stage. You want to talk about the top scorers as well throughout the postseason. Of course, for hREDS, you see Nicky Dangles, Benito Nioki up there. But, of course, for HAVU, Flyer Kungan, Dominointi, Alonso, all up there as well. I mean, the head-to-head matchup in terms of these 3 forwards, it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out, but a thing that caught my eye here, not that he's involved in this particular series, playmaker now, though, up to 13 goals this postseason off the back of today's performance through games 3 and 4 of the other semifinal. Just absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, and it's just as scary as he was in the regular season, he's, becoming just as scary here in the postseason. And, we look at Dominointi and especially Puanso down there, towards the bottom. But, I mean, it's just simply because of games played. Puanso, 10 goals in 6 games played. Dominointi, 13 points in 6 games played. I mean, both of them 2 points per game. And that's kind of what leads HAVU Gaming. They're very, very strong defensively, yet they still get a ton of scoring from their front 3, and that's illustrated right there by all 3 of them being represented in the top skaters with significantly less games played than everyone else.
Absolutely. So again, moments away from puck drop. Game 3 and 4 covered here tonight in this broadcast. Of course, excited to see how this one plays out. HAVU the chance to end this series and punch their ticket to the final here in this very cast. And of course, we do thank you very much for joining us. A friendly reminder, check us out here, there, and everywhere. NHLgamer.com, of course, on Instagram, Twitter, the Discord, the YouTube as well. So I believe those highlight packages are still very much in effect here as we go throughout the postseason. There's a lot to cover throughout the ECL banner, the NHL Gamer banner as well. Of course, the other playoff series that are going on, closing in on the championship round in the lower 3 tiers as well, something that we may just be able to cover. I hope we get to cover because, of course, you look last year, or last season at least, getting to cover the likes of Vestapampa and the Brace Phantoms. And, you talk about seeing Brace Phantoms in action and seeing them make the postseason. It didn't go too well against HAVU, but hey, they made the postseason. And then, of course, you talk about Vestapampa, 1 win away from making it, being in Färjestad's spot, which, it's always interesting to see those lower tiers, how they work out, and really the success that some of those teams can have in the higher division once they get the opportunity.
Yeah, and it's almost like, you know, watching a prospect of one of your favorite professional teams work their way through the system, you know, down in those lower divisions. A lot of these teams, you know, in Elite have been in those lower divisions. They've started there, you know, kind of like, you know, started from the bottom. And, you know, it's really cool to kind of, you know, have that and, you know, have a league where, you know, teams can kind of keep inching their way up. You see players, you start recognizing names, and you just kind of watch their journeys here. And that's a really cool thing.
Absolutely. So again, moments away. Game 3 just about ready to begin as you're going to look at the playoff tree, the bracket as it stands. In case you missed it, Linköping pulling off a victory in Game 3 and 4. They now have a 3-1 series lead over the 8th seed, and Färjestad 1 win away from punching their ticket back to the finals as defending champions. And of course, HAVU up 2-0 on hREDS. We're going to see if hREDS have what it takes, you know, to really battle back here. But again, Sin, the unfortunate thing about the slight delay is that, again, we might be in store for overtime, which is only going to make this more interesting to cover, is the word that I'll use.
Yeah, and there's always a possibility for that to happen, especially between these two teams. And, well, it happened in the first 2 games. It seems like, well, with our luck, we seem to get a lot of overtime games, especially throughout the regular season. But now we have another team with 7 straight overtime contests in hREDS. It seems like Lady Luck is really putting us in a position to call it some overtime games. Hopefully our voices can sort of hold up throughout this entire thing. But I mean, just the way these playoffs are shaping up, you're kind of starting to get that inkling of a feeling that we will see the ultimate rematch again between Linköping and HAVU Gaming. And HAVU Gaming again have been on the war path here, and if they're able to end it right here, they will continue to be undefeated throughout the playoffs, which is a huge confidence booster for them going in to you know, the finals against the team that came back and won 3 straight against them to take the championship away from the tips of their fingers last season.
So you talked about whether or not our voices would hold up. I don't know if my voice has recovered from the hREDS Unlucky Boy series, even to this stage. Again, Game 6, triple overtime, then a tying goal with 18 seconds left, short-handed for hREDS to force overtime. They win it in overtime. This team has that never say die attitude that could indeed see them work their way back into this series. Going to be very intrigued to see how this one plays out, how this goes down, and really whether or not they're able to do that. But the crazy thing about the ECL playoffs, particularly in the Elite Division, is that whenever you expect the unexpected is essentially the lesson that we've learned here in our time covering the ECL and the Elite Division in particular, because anytime you think something's going to go one way, it often goes the other. I mean, again, you think back to Game 3, Färjestad, Linköping. It looked like, oh my God, Färjestad are going to pull this off. Not with Linköping, unfortunately. So you think HAVU had the title won last year. That didn't happen either. You think Färjestad blew it. They weren't going to make the playoffs to begin with. You think they're going to lose to Färjestad. You never really know what's going to happen in the postseason once we finally get here. So time will tell. Puck drop. Coming up just about now. Not like right this second, but give it like 30 seconds and we'll be in the action. Now you watch, there'll be a disconnect because I told you to expect the unexpected, so you never know what will happen. Sin, we're in game 3. There was a slight delay there in an animation. I swear to God, I thought it dropped.
I actually thought it froze right there. A bit of a, you know, I've seen that a few times, maybe even last night and stuff like that, but yeah, these two teams going head-to-head in those beautiful black and green jerseys of HAVU Gaming, looking to really put the dagger in the back of hREDS, looking to have a much stronger performance, and you heard it from Flyer Kungen. If we can limit these guys to just scoring 2 goals on us, we will win. So we'll see if they're able to do that here in Game 3.
Let's see how it plays out. hREDS battling, trying to get their way back into this series. Time will tell if they can. King of Apes, the outlet pass to Yoki. Again, we know how they love those back-and-forth passes despite limited action. Yoki nearly pulls that one in front. Hanselino forced to cover. But, you know, already an optimistic start for hREDS in terms of how quickly they were able to gain the zone.
Yeah, a bit of a scary moment right there for HAVU and hREDS. You got to like that. You gain the zone, you kind of get an in-tight chance. Not the greatest, but you put a little scare in the hearts of HAVU.
Benito nearly comes up with that one, but it's Dominointi dishing it off to Nasu. Looking for a bit of space again here. HAVU, you see all 5 men on their side of the red line, trying to go 5 across the blue line to shut things down. Smart move, but Dominoiti finds space, tosses it, scores! 5 men at the blue line, and Sin to stop HAVU. That sometimes still isn't enough. Powanzo finds the back of the net, continuing his hot start to this postseason. HAVU gained the lead.
What a saucer pass right there. Perfectly placed and perfectly paced. The speed was absolutely perfect, and Powanzo getting his stick on it, putting it home, and that's how HAVU wanted to start out this game. Get to the advantage early, and we'll see if they keep forechecking pretty hard. They have had a tendency at times to sort of sit back, but I don't think they're going to keep making that mistake against hREDS, who took them to overtime twice.
Time will tell. An impressive breakdown of that blue line trap from HAVU. They have the lead within the first 3 minutes or so of the first period here in Game 3. A chance here, mistimed yet again, but Sin, we talked about it a lot. Uncharacteristic offsides, and it's that goal that really does go to show how well HAVU can time it at the blue line, and that's really what's expected of them. It's shocking when they mistime it, as they did, through the first 2 games of this series quite frequently.
Yeah, absolutely, and it just seems like that's, part of hRED's game plan, and they're sort of working it as good as they can. I mean, you're not going to keep HAVU out of your zone indefinitely, but...
Hip check by Flyer Kungan, couldn't help but cut you off to point that one out. We talk about his physicality on the forecheck on full display there, as Yoki takes the hit from Villikun. HAVU back in possession at least for the moment. Going to be very intrigued to see how aggressive hREDS are on the forecheck, and Sin Yoki wasting no time getting involved, but chance here for Powanzo as the space, still holding it on the backhand, loses it, and ultimately hREDS do recover, so good job there by Teemu. Drop now off, Apes looking for a bit of space, sends it down low. Yoki tried to go back to Apes, miscommunication, perhaps a bit of rust on display there from King of Apes.
Yeah, he just left the boards a little too quickly right there. He was still the option. He started heading towards the middle of the ice to adjust as the puck would have maybe gone around the boards there. So yeah, as you said, might be just shaking off a bit of rust right here. Great entry by HAVU.
Flyer Kungan along the wall, drops for Dominoiti, has a few options, takes his time. It's Powanzo now in the other corner, again, options of his own. Nasu, shot deflection bid, goes just wide. Dominoiti recovers and sends it to the point. Again, down low, Dominoiti has a few options, wanted to get it low to Flyer Kungan, thrown in front, Powanzo still loose. Recovers the puck now down in the corner yet again, tried to cut his way in front, but Nicky Dangles was there to defend. Great job by Dominoiti to strip him of the puck and get HAVU right back in on the attack. Even better job by Nicky Dangles there in his own zone. Great job by the winger to drop back and to help out the defense, but HAVU right back in on the attack. Flyer Kungan charges the net, now around the back of it. hREDS recover, but the question is for how long? And the answer is not very long before that gigantic hit. See if Apes can find his way across. Dishes it for Teemu. Quick passes. Chance does not go. Huge save there. That was actually Benito, not in the rush. Or that was Benito in the rush, not King of Apes, all things considered. Again, oftentimes that little bit of confusion with how close the indicators are. Wouldn't have been surprising, of course, to see Apes step up, but Benito nearly able to make that play. hREDS turn it over here. Chance yet again now. Villikun shot on, blocked down. Dominoiti recovered for a moment. Under 4 minutes to play now here in the first period. Over the line, thrown in front. Apes nearly buries it. Just talked about his ability to step up into the play, and he nearly found the back of the net. Huge opportunity for hREDS goes to waste. 2.5 to play now. HAVU struggling to get it out of their own zone here. I mean, you see the change on the fly already from hREDS, going from just dropping back and inviting the pressure at the blue line to saying, well, that didn't work. Let's forecheck. They're in possession here now. Yoki, a couple of quick passes, and this one deflects out of play with 1:19 to go.
And 2 really solid adjustments from either of these teams. HAVU Gaming, their transition was a lot better. They've gotten some cleaner zone entries. And for hREDS, getting a bit more aggressive there. As you mentioned, not quite just holding the blue line, but starting to forecheck a bit more. And King of Apes jumping into the play. Just how dangerous he can be on the rush.
Chance here. Down low in the corner. Powanzo looking for a pass. He can't find it. Recovered by Teemu. A couple of quick passes here. 7 seconds to work with now for Yoki. Not able to find the pass. HAVU will look to clear it out. Turned over. Shot, glove, save. Hansalino denying Yoki as time expired. Again, uncharacteristic has been the word for HAVU. They have the lead, but a dangerous play there to try and get one more chance. Nearly cost them.
Yeah, and speaking of uncharacteristic, there was a save that Hanselinho made earlier on the one-timer from Yoki, and his reaction seemed to be very late, and it was only because of how far away Yoki was on the one-timer that Hanselinho was able to make that save. So could be a one-off, but definitely something to keep an eye on as this kind of goes along. I think that was the play right there as we got another look at it. Hard to see from that angle and with the limited time on the replay, but nonetheless, HAVU 1-0 lead. They obviously would prefer a bit of a larger margin here, but they'll take it, and they'll kind of keep trying to, build on that as it goes on. But interestingly, only one registered shot from them with the time on attack. They seem to be a team who knows what kind of chances they want and are just happy to wait for them. hREDS, sort of the same deal, but when you're playing a team like HAVU, you might have to switch things up a little bit and start pouring a few more shots on net.
Absolutely. I mean, time will tell. So you get another look at that goal, shoveled a 5-hole past Nikke. The difference maker there, just 3 shots on goal between the two teams. One, of course, right there as time expired. Yoki denied by the glove. Just 1 goal for the first 2 games for Yoki. Again, extremely uncharacteristic given the fact that he was second in terms of goals for in the regular season. Of course, behind the unmistakable, the inevitable playmaker of Linköping. Chance here, though, for hREDS. Quickly thrown in front. Loose puck handled well by Nasu. And again, handed over to Villikun. They'll look to slow it down, but absolutely send the adjustment on the fly. hREDS, 3 forwards in deep. Opportunity there off the turnover. Yoki, chance there. Again, Nicky Dangles denied, but a much better job here by hREDS. They have completely abandoned the trap game. They're going full forecheck.
Yeah, and that's really going to start stifling HAVU's transition game. You saw them try to slow it down right there, and then hREDS' pressure just collapsed on them and didn't even allow them any space to breathe, and they ended up with a pretty uncharacteristic defensive zone turnover, and I like that from hREDS. Keep the pressure on.
Absolutely. Puck down in the corner. Pawanso chops it all the way back to the point. Villikun tried to go back down low. The space wasn't there. King of Apes was able to intercept it. Yeah, he's on the puck there, I was going to say. Only for a split second. Great job there by HAVU to win it back. They're still in possession here. Stretch pass doesn't go. Benito was able to intercept. Now it's Yoki attempting the pass, but offside is called. 4.5 minutes gone here in the second period.
And, so far, so good on the discipline side of things for hREDS. I really hope I didn't jinx it right there, but you can really kind of see in their mannerisms, they're being a lot more careful with the sticks and a lot more, careful about how, when they're going to hit someone and preferring the smaller bumps and the collapses instead of going for huge hits.
Around the back, Pawanso has it, takes a big hit to make the play. Cut out well there by Taman. King of Apes again. Call him King, call him Apes, call him what you will. He's in possession here. And again, a dangerous threat despite it being a bit of a surprise that he's in the lineup. Chance here, Teemu struggling. Able to get it down low, recovered by Villikun. A couple of quick passes here from HAVU trying to work it out. hREDS right now finding success in terms of gaining extra possessions off of this increased aggressiveness. Benito not able to dance his way through there on that attempt, though. HAVU, we'll see what they can do in response. Pawanso gains the line, loses it quickly. Yoki nearly losing it as well. Again, a real back and forth battle right now, Sin, through the neutral zone. Chance here, though, down low. Benito in front. Quick passes, doesn't find its way through. Second chance, Nicky Dangles can't get the shot on through the backhand. And it's another turnover from HAVU. Recovered here. Benito slap shot off the pads. Does not go, but hREDS, we're halfway through the second period. They are certainly looking like the better team, but space here. Flyer Kungan, can he do anything with it? In front, just doesn't go for Pawanso. Huge opportunity in response for HAVU, Sin.
Yeah, excellent job, and then the finally counterattack, but I'm very impressed right now from hREDS, and it's looking like they're forcing HAVU into mistakes that they simply don't usually make, and that's a huge boon for hREDS. Unfortunately, not able to capitalize on it quite yet, but, it's going well for them right now, but HAVU in on the attack.
Around the back, here's Pawanso in front. Nasu was there on the doorstep. He just couldn't get a piece of it. And Dominoiti's going to take a tripping call here. It's going to be hREDS going to the power play. HAVU's center going to the box.
And a rare occurrence. We haven't seen hREDS on the power play at all in this series so far, I believe. And, their power play throughout the season, not too bad. 28%, good enough for 6th in the league. And we'll see right now how good that HAVU penalty kill ranked first will be.
Huge moment for hREDS. Tie up off the draw. They come up with a shot on by Nicky Dangles. Stopped. Second chance here. Puck still alive. They recovered down low. Yoki couldn't get a clean shot off. Nasu is able to clear, though, on the backhand. So a couple of early opportunities there for hREDS. Still plenty of time to work with here. So look to get a clean breakout. We'll see if HAVU can hold off. Good movement here through the neutral zone. King of Apes not able to make the pass. The loose puck here poked again by Flyer Kungen. And hREDS will be forced to reset. 40 seconds to go on the power play. Chance here now. Teemu trying to find his way through the zone. He can't do it. That four-man trap at the blue line working out to perfection right now for HAVU. hREDS finally gained the zone. Chance, King of Apes, slap shot, loose puck. Benito can't bury it on the backhand. Puck still loose. Hanselino was able to cover, and that'll bring us back to 5-on-5.
Great job from Hanselino to not give up his post right there, even with several people there trying to push for that puck. And yeah, good kill by HAVU. I don't think they spent much time in their own zone at all. That's pretty much the picture-perfect penalty kill until the end right there with that one shot.
Under 4.5 to go now here in the second period of Game 3. Again, Game 4 coming up immediately after this. HAVU looking to end this series right here tonight. hREDS trying to guarantee that they'll be in action tomorrow. Game 5 at the very least. Shot, the flex wide. Recovered yet again by Benito. A couple of quick passes, but they can't get it to the point. Polanco was all over it. hREDS able to maintain possession. Struggling to find space at the line, though. HAVU able to regain. 2 minutes to play now. And a chance here for Nostelia to find a little bit of space. Looks for a different option. Finds Dominointi, and again, he'll drop it back. See again if they can find their way over the line. Dominointi just not able to pick that up. Teemu recovers. Now King of Apes. Final minute of play. hREDS on the rush. Looking to find some space. Benito runs into a bit of traffic, but Teemu gets it back to him. Teemu again at the point. Shot! Scores! Deflected in front. King of Apes throws it on. And it's Nicky Dangles in front. hREDS almost good luck charm. The talisman throughout the postseason. And Sin, he ties it up. A well-deserved goal for hREDS.
Yeah, and a great job by them kind of getting the puck to the point, and then everybody kind of going for the front of the net, and Nicky Dangle's the one who gets his stick on it, but a good job from King of Apes there. Just throw that puck on the net. You do not want to turn it over when you're on the point, and you know, that's what you need to do, especially if you're coming in here as a guy who hasn't played yet in the playoffs, only 2 games played in the regular season. Make the simple play. He did just that, and his team back on the board here, tied at 1.
Yoki in front. Nicky Dangles just couldn't get a piece of that one. This one rifled down and wide. That'll bring us to the end of the second period. This one is now tied at 1 goal apiece. First period goes to HAVU. Second period ultimately to hREDS. And the story of this game, hREDS' adjustment following the early goal from HAVU.
Yeah, and it was a really excellent adjustment. And for the first time in a long time, really, we saw HAVU seemingly on the ropes, and you know, turnovers happening. You know, most of the uncharacteristic mistakes we talked about in the first 2 games was them not being able to gain the blue line cleanly. Now all of a sudden, hREDS kicking up the pressure on the forecheck, forcing turnovers in rough spots for HAVU Gaming where they can't set up those layers of defense that they're so used to having. And, you know, tied at 1 here, anything can happen. It looks like it's going to go down to the wire, a nail-biter, if you will. But there you go. hREDS, not really with the time on attack advantage, but starting to put those shots on net, doing what they need to do. And HAVU, still only 2 registered shots, and simply not good enough from them in that second period with some of the chances that they could have had. I mean, maybe it's their turn to start throwing a few more shots on the net, because we always talk about the down-low cycle, but we really haven't seen HAVU able to generate anything from that at all.
I mean, with HAVU, you talk about, okay, hold hREDS to just 2 goals, you know? At the end of the day, though, the limited amount of chances that HAVU have had in this game, turns out 2 goals might be enough to win this game for hREDS. Very intrigued to see what the adjustments are going to be here from them. Third period underway. We'll see indeed what HAVU are able to do in response. Flyer Kungen not able to gain the line there. hREDS back in possession. King of Apes looking. Trying to find space. Teemu wasn't able to find any space either. And again, they'll be forced to reset. Time ticking down, of course. In overtime could again be on the agenda. Puck down low. Benito not able to pick that one up. Flyer Kungen was there to help corral it. Chance now. Polanco double team. Still has the puck. Stretch pass doesn't go. Again, it'll be King of Apes in possession. So HAVU still struggling to gain that offensive zone time. Doing a better job, though, of shutting down hREDS through the neutral zone, at least at the beginning of the third period. A couple of give-and-go passes, looking for space, trying to find an opening, unable to do so. And again, Filiku not able to find his way through either. 5 minutes gone, neither team really able to establish much of an offensive foothold through the early stages of the third period. And now through the neutral zone looking for space. Nicky Dangles drops back. Chance. Shot just wide. Benito just tried to power that one home. Sin goes all the way back to his own zone though.
I like that look right there, trying to go for the slap shot and not necessarily looking for the rebound, going for the short side right there, hoping to keep Hanselinho kind of cheating there, preparing for the pass or for that rebound opportunity.
Absolutely. Here's Yoki now. Finds Benito again. Drops it back. Teemu. Shot from an odd angle from Nicky Dangles, but a glove save by Hanselinho. 8 minutes gone here in this third period. Big face-off coming up. An offensive zone draw for Benito and hREDS. We'll see if they're able to find a way through. The slight advantage for hREDS, but a clean win for Dominointi in the defensive zone. See again if HAVU is able to turn defense into offense. Chance here now. See if Nasu can find space. He can't find the pass there to Flyer Coogan. Has to be a little bit frustrating for both teams. Not right now. It's like running into a brick wall as you try to progress through the neutral zone. Although there might be a little bit of space here for hREDS. Benito tries to hold it. Gets back to the point. King of Apes throws it on. Second chance doesn't go. Yoki couldn't pull the trigger in time. Huge save by Hanselinho. This one's back to the neutral zone. Pawanzo recovers. Looking for that bit of space. Forced to drop it back. And again, HAVU continually forced to drop it back and reset. Stretch pass to Pawanzo doesn't go. Here's Yoki now for hREDS. Find a way through. Great job by Villikun though to hold on to it. Turns it over though. Teemu, now it's Benito down low in the corner. Shot on, glove save, Hanselinho. Tried to catch him cheating, Sin.
Yeah, and it really looks like they're really going back to the well, really trying to test Hanselinho on his angles, all those weird kind of shots from tough angles. And we're seeing a pause right here. It might be from HAVU. Just taking a second to talk about this because they're really on the ropes here in the third period, and uncharacteristically so. They're simply not able to gain the line, and it seems like they're content trying the same thing over and over and over again, which is a bit odd and a bit uncharacteristic of a great team. We usually see and talk about all the adjustments being made to sort of, counter, get around the opposition that they're facing, but I haven't really seen any, area sauces to get into the zone. Zero dumps. It's a bit trivial right now what HAVU's doing. We'll see if they make some adjustments here late in the third period to get themselves some more offensive zone opportunities.
Another clean win for Dominointi. We'll see what HAVU's able to do with it yet again. Nasu struggling to find space, but quick movement. They're over the line, but bumped all the way back. 6.5 to go here in the third period. Chance over the line. See if they can hold on to it, and they do. Nasu has options, goes down low into the corner. Pawanzo takes the hit, tries to make the play, ends up finding the pass. A couple of quick passes here. Big spin by Villikun. D-to-D, deflection bid in front. Loose puck, still up for grabs. King of Apes, though, comes up with it for hREDS. And a chance here on the rush. Nicky Dangles sends it all the way across. Benito back to the point, now down low, all the way around the back. Yoki shot, save, rebound, handled by the HAVU defense, but they're on the ropes right now. Nicky Dangles can't find the pass. HAVU able to recover. 3.5 to go here in the third period of Game 3. Stretch pass to Flyer Kungan doesn't find its way through. It was a good start for HAVU, but hREDS making crucial changes. Flyer Kungan has options. Villikun back down low for the captain. Tries the wrap, doesn't get it. Still has it down in the corner. Chance again now, cuts in front. Villikun slap shot to the traffic, can't find a way home. Still recovered though. 1.5 to play. Pawanzo along the half wall. Now Stelio looking. Tries to find space. Again, HAVU finally getting that cycle going. Looking here. Flyer Kungan for Pawanzo. Tried the wrap. He lost it on the net. Again, thrown in front. Shot doesn't go through. Great movement to give Villikun the chance. He just couldn't put it home. Chance again now for Nasu. One-timer saved by Nicky. What a stop. Pawanzo looking to drive the net. Loose puck around the back. Recovered by hREDS. Let's see what they can do in response. HAVU's best really sustained offensive zone pressure in this game. Pawanzo off the steal, tried to throw it in front. Loose puck now around the back. Couple of passes, shot blocked down in front. Now kicked out to the corner. Again, hREDS able to recover. 20 seconds to play. King of Apes tries to find a pass. He can't. Nasu has it. Loose puck up for grabs. hREDS have it. Yoki tries to find the pass there for Nicky Dangles. Cut out well by Dominointi. Final 10 seconds to play in regulation. Are we going to overtime yet again? Puck in front. Pawanzo scores! With 4 seconds to go, HAVU Gaming find the breakthrough and take the lead. What a goal, what a moment. Pawanzo strikes. That is as clutch of a goal as you'll see, Sid.
Wow, I mean, that is impressive. 4 seconds remaining. What a pass right there from Flyer Kungan, and it's it was almost like HAVU Gaming was playing the part of the cuttlefish right there, just kind of letting their opponents take small bites out of them over and over and over again. And at the very end, they come on with a firestorm, all that offensive zone time, the transition game back to form. Look at those, the sequence of sauces right there. The first to Flyer Kungen through the traffic and his perfectly placed to give Poinso the partial breakaway. He buries it on the backhand. That is a heartbreaker for hREDS. And, well, you said we may be going to overtime with 4 seconds remaining. I don't think that will be the case. What a play right there from HAVU, and they should take the stranglehold on the series 3-0.
Sin, if there has been anything that we've been known for beyond inviting, playoff action or overtime action within the playoffs, we are known for being one hell of a jinx. And apparently that jinx strikes again. HAVU win it in regulation. They take a 3-0 series lead. Game 4 coming up. They have a chance to end it as we'll get another look at the winning goal here from Poanso. Again, a great sauce pass. Not much Nick I can do there in goal. And Sen, you mentioned it. A heartbreaker. A heartbreaker for hREDS, all things considered. A rough first period. You give up the first goal. You dominated the second period and the majority of the third period after your adjustments, making life so difficult for HAVU in transition and trying to gain the offensive zone. One mistake is all it takes against a team like HAVU. That's all it takes.
Yeah, that's just the most unfortunate part. I mean, anyone can make a successful argument that hREDS, quote unquote, deserved to win that game, but at the end of the day, they only got one goal. All those chances and you still only got one goal. All the pressure, all the mistakes you forced HAVU into, and you still were only to put the puck in the back of the net once. And that's kind of the story for hREDS right now. So close, yet so far. And I mean, realistically, they should only be down maybe 2-1 in this series, but now you can't lose again. HAVU Gaming have found a way to win. And as you said, that's what champion caliber teams do. No matter what, they find a way to win. And one more win, HAVU has punched their ticket back to the finals and would remain undefeated.
Absolutely. I mean, right now, you talked about it for hREDS, called a little bit of bad luck or whatnot, but do they deserve to be down 3-0 in this series? Perhaps not. All 3 games have been 1-goal games against last year's runner-up. I mean, that is an incredible feat, but at the end of the day, you're still down 3-0, and now it's elimination games from here on out. Game 4. I mean, again, you need to win this one to keep your season alive, to be featured tomorrow. Otherwise, HAVU will be able to take tomorrow off, sit back and relax as they see what happens in Game 5 between Linköping and Färjestad. Saying the stage might be set for just a 1-game broadcast tomorrow. All things considered, as crazy as that would be, certainly not what we expected. But again, you talk about expect the unexpected. That was one of the main talking points leading into that game. What was unexpected about it? hREDS showing a tremendous ability to adapt. It looks like, okay, maybe overtime's happening. They might be able to do this. And just like that, the chance disappears. So you never quite know how it's going to break down. But again, HAVU taking game 3 there, now up 3-0 in this series. In terms of what they need to do, Sin, I mean, Anselino made some big stops when it was needed. I mean, really, it's just, the breakout. More than likely, it's just, can they solve the breakout issues to get those offensive chances a bit more consistently? Because when they do get the chances, HAVU are capitalizing on them.
Yeah, and, hREDS did a great job of holding the blue line, and we can kind of see why they had so much emphasis on holding that blue line. Once HAVU gets it in your zone, good luck getting it back out. You're going to need a bit of luck. You're going to have to try to beat that team to a loose puck, and HAVU Gaming, I think, is one of the most dangerous teams at getting to those loose pucks. It just seems like they play this game so much and so often they know where that loose puck is going to go, and 1 or 2 guys are in position to do that. But that being said, hREDS, overall, tremendous game. You were really forcing HAVU into mistakes. So I think from the get-go here, hREDS, they got a forecheck immediately. I don't think you want to sit back and hold the blue line forecheck immediately. You were really causing some havoc for HAVU. And then, if that forecheck doesn't work, try to hold that blue line, because as we said, once HAVU gets it into the zone, I mean, it's a scary cycle that they have, and their pass is so quick, so precise, and the chances that come from it. Nick is a great goaltender, but you're not going to stop every single one of them. That's for sure.
Absolutely. And again, now for hREDS, I mean, the talking point of, I mean, first and foremost, the mentality has to be, oh, you know, it can't be, oh God, we're down 3-0. It has to be one game at a time. And, you know, that's the one thing that stuck with me throughout, you know, this entire season after witnessing last year's final, where again, we got to talk to the likes of Eki and Kape at the end of that series where they pulled it off. And you can really tell the top teams, it's all about mentality, keeping it together, and knowing that there's going to be other chances, especially in a best-of-7 series. We're going to see, I mean, hREDS, it is a long road back, to say the least, as you get some updated stats here following that game. But for hREDS, it's really all you can do. View it as one game at a time. Aside from that, Sin, I mean, obviously probably looking for more of the same from what we saw from them in the second and the majority of the third period if they're going to find success.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they're going to have to do, and they're going to have to do it for the full game here because HAVU, all they need is seemingly is one chance. They're a combination of Färjestad and Linköping. Their counterattack's good enough to hit you whenever the heck they want, and, you know, they can sustain that pressure with a tremendous defensive game as well. They're so dangerous. They were in the finals last season for a reason, and they're looking to make it back here again. That being said, Yoki and Nicky Dangle's very dangerous in their own right when you compare them to Puanzo and Flyer Kungen, and you know they really were trying to test Hanselinho, and we're really kind of finding some chances there, but Hanselinho really cleaned up his game. I mentioned in that first period he seemed a little slow on a reaction on one of the one-timers, and I'm wondering if hREDS noticed that as well and then started to test him on his angles right there, but nonetheless it just wasn't quite enough. And you know, at this point you have nothing to lose. hREDS, give it your all, throw everything and see what happens. I say just full aggression.
Absolutely. I mean, Sin, at this point, that's really what it's all about, right? I mean, this is it. It all comes down to this. There is no guarantee beyond this next game that's in front of you. It all comes down to this. So, going to be very intrigued to see what they do, how they handle it, and, you know, whether or not they do have that ability to come back and make the most of this. I mean, again, I fully believe that they do have that ability, but time will tell as to whether or not they do. So again, game 4 on deck, just about ready to begin. Very intrigued to see how this goes down. Again, a look at the lineups. hREDS, the main factor heading into this game. No Janzo at left defense. King of Apes slots in. But Sin, I thought he had a pretty damn good game, set up one of the goals.
Yeah, he did incredible, and you got to credit. It takes all 5 men to hold the blue line as effectively as they did, and you know he's a big part of that. And yeah, his breakouts were pretty good. He helped produce some offense. He had the assist on their lone goal right there. And all in all, if you're stepping in as a sub, like I said, you want to play simple hockey and find a way to contribute. He nailed all of those points. So yeah, King of Apes, great job. Let's see if his team's able to start clawing their way back in and pick up a very, very important and desperately needed win here in Game 4.
Absolutely. Again, we'll see how this goes down. Ultimately, again, a long road back against HAVU, last year's runner-up. We're going to see if they can survive here. Time will tell. But Game 4, just about ready to begin. We thank you very much for joining us on this particular broadcast. Again, we will be live the same time tomorrow. Make sure not to miss it. Game 5 is right now the only guaranteed game on deck for that broadcast between Linköping and Färjestad. We'll see how it plays out. A win from hREDS guarantees that we have at least 2 games tomorrow. Again, time will tell. Sin, the action just about ready to begin. Do HAVU seal the deal right here, right now?
You know, it's hard to kind of picture them not with, you know, how good they are, and that was hREDS' perhaps best game of the series, and it's going to be hard to duplicate that against HAVU right here, but, you know, you always love to see some high-quality hockey, and then at the same time, you got to think that something's got to give for hREDS. They've been just way too good to be down 3-0, and we'll see if they can pick up a W here. But again, going to be a tall task ahead of them. HAVU bound to make some adjustments. They're going to want more offense here in this game.
Here we go. Puck drop, Game 4 underway. HAVU looking to end this series right here and right now, looking to punch their ticket back to the championship round. Again, their campaign for revenge, bringing them to this point. Nasu at the point now, down, shot on by Pawanso. Rebound handled well. We'll see what hREDS can do here on the counter-attack. Forced to slow up as Benito, who drops back to his defenseman Teemu. We'll take a little bit of a tour of the neutral zone. It's again tough for hREDS right now to break down that blue line control from HAVU. Sauced across. Pawanso's going to recover this one. Takes the hit, but Flyer Coogan picks it up in the corner. As it tries the near post. Sneaky move there from the captain. Nearly paid off, but Nikke was there to stop it. Yoki burst to speed. Chance now. Benito recovers around the back of the net. Quick pass. Just doesn't find its intended target. Unfortunate break there. I mean, really, Yoki or Nicky Dangles either had a pretty good shot at finding that one, so.
Yeah, and I liked what King of Apes was doing. 5-on-5, hREDS were almost in a bit of an umbrella situation, which is very good when it comes for one-timers, but in that case, the puck trickled back to where, King of Apes would have been had he been holding his spot on the blue line.
Flyer Coogan nearly able to work his way through. He gains the zone regardless. Pawansa looking, has it in the corner, back for Nasistelia, has a couple of options, goes D to Villikun instead, now again back down low. Battled for Pawanso, able to recover, throws it in front, great chance there for Dominoiti. Huge heads-up play, an even bigger hit there by Flyer Coogan.
He bounced on him too.
Unbelievable hit there, the aggressiveness from HAVU's captain. hREDS still struggling at times to gain the offensive zone here throughout this series. This one sent all the way down and for icing with just about 9 minutes gone here in the first period. A big face-off here. I mean, any face-off in either offensive zone, huge at this stage in the playoff series.
Absolutely, and especially for HAVU, they have a chance to sustain some offense. We know how dangerous they are with that down-low cycle.
So Dominoiti, what an extra pass for Villikun, but he just couldn't find the back of the net. We know how capable the defense happens to be for HAVU in terms of putting up goals. They nearly had one there. Here's Yoki, though, for hREDS. Somehow finds his way through. Shot on. Handled well by Hanselinho. Down the corner, Benito. Couple of quick passes. Another big save by Hanselinho. And again, hREDS, I mean, when they get into the zone, they're normally able to get some good chances. Chance here with King of Apes off the pass. Just couldn't get it clean was Nicky Dangles. Still fighting for it, though. Benito and Nicky Dangles down low in the corner. hREDS come up with it. Now for Teemu. Looking. Shot. Save again. Recovered by Yoki down low in the corner. Tried to go back to the point. Great heads-up play by Pawanso. Still fighting for it. hREDS able to maintain possession. King of Apes stepping up. Chops it across. And he has experience as a forward. Chance here. Teemu down in the corner and again back to the point. hREDS trying to find the space. Trying to find the gaps. Unable to do so for the moment. HAVU able to recover. Great job to survive the pressure, but a turnover there from Dominoiti. We'll see hREDS back in control. So a pretty good start, all things considered. They gain the zone here. Teemu has it down low. Nicky Dangles isn't able to hold on to it. Here come HAVU with a chance down the other way. Quickly taken away again. That was Nicky Dangles defending well for hREDS. Loose puck. Still held on. Benito still fighting for it. Has it. Yoki looking. Loose puck kicked out wide. Down low. Nicky Dangles trying to hold on to it. Battling Villikun. Chance for Benito. Doesn't go. Still hREDS fighting for it. Under 3 minutes to play now. Here in the first period of game 4. HAVU come up with it. And we'll see if they can get any offensive zone time. King of Apes says no as he brings it around the back of his own goal. Tremendous job here by hREDS, but as Sin alluded towards, pressure doesn't mean anything. You need the end result. Teemu has it. Loose puck kicked out by Pawanso. Recovered now. Here's Dominoiti. Stretch pass for Flyer Coogan. Just doesn't go. Final minute of play. Yoki gains the line. A couple of options. King of Apes. Slap shot deflects wide. 20 seconds. This one chopped out, but not all the way. Teemu able to hold it. HAVU back in possession. Final 5 seconds. This one picked off for the moment. Chance here. Dominoiti shot. Kick save. Rebound. No time. So Sin, a tremendous start for hREDS, but they simply can't find the back of the net.
Yeah, and a crazy good pace for the first period as well. It just seemed like a ton of back and forth action, but then hREDS, the tide started to kind of flow in their favor, and they started once again to push HAVU back onto the ropes. But as it was in the final 2 periods, they simply couldn't get the goal, and it just speaks to HAVU's resiliency. They're no matter how much pressure they face, they seem to remain calm. They limit the mistakes, even if they make a couple mistakes. They're good at recovering, and making them seem not as big, and of course with Hanselinho between the pipes for you as well to make those saves that he needs to make. And that's a recipe for success. Only 2 face-offs in that period, and obviously one of them is off puck drop, so just a crazy back and forth pace. And yeah, but again, I like hRED's game. they just can't get the pucks in the back of the net, and it's unfortunate for them, but now they're going to have to watch out. HAVU, going to see a bit of a pushback here from them in this period.
Absolutely send this again. You gotta love when the mute button is pressed, but just says, nah, I'm taking this press off. Unfortunately, again, for hREDS, as we've talked about, it comes down to this. Simply put, you need these goals. I mean, again, you talk about the adjustment in play. You talk about, really the story of their entire season. It just comes down to, at the end of the day, you get into these big moments, you need the results. We're going to see if they can get the result here. Loose puck sent across. Pawanso nearly got a hold of that one from a great shooting position. King of Apes looking, throws it on, deflection, scores! Deflected by Nicky Dangles again, Sin for the second time in as many games. It is hREDS scoring on that exact play. King of Apes, his willingness to throw it on net pays off.
And that's what you need. hREDS talked about it in the series against Unlucky Boys. We're just going to have to throw more pucks on net. They do it here, and both of their goals today are coming from plays like that. They have the lead once again and are back on the attack.
Yoki has it down low, throwing off the back. Benito nearly snuck that one home. Yoki still has it down low again, trying to find Benito on the kick pass. He can't do it. Chance here for Dominointi, potentially going down the other way. Pawanso nearly walking away with that one. So again, hREDS finding the breakthrough here early in the second period of Game 4. They're down 3-0, but that's a good start towards trying to work your way back into this series. All 3 games decided by just 1 goal. First 2 games of this series going to overtime. Game 2 went to triple overtime at that, to show you how close this series has been. Loose puck around the back, recovered there by Nasu. HAVU in control here. It's Pawanso timing it extremely well. Again, that's what we expect from HAVU, but the follow-up pass, maybe not so much. Loose puck, Yoki fighting for it. He'll wave off the icing. Still has it around the back. Chance for, again, Benito just not able to get that final bit of possession as Villikun loses that one in a very awkward fashion, I would say, but HAVU able to survive the scare. Nasu tries to find Dominoidi up the middle. The space just wasn't there, but Sin, again, great job there by hREDS. You get the goal.
Yeah, holding the line, and I think what happened to Villikun there, he went for the self-sauce, and then just his animation of his stick kind of going back just knocked the puck to the side. Very unfortunate there for HAVU, who are finding it hard to gain the zone and even get it through the neutral zone uncontested.
Chance here for hREDS. We'll see if they can gain the zone cleanly, but thus far, it's HAVU shutting things down. King of Apes making the pass. Again, forced to work it around a little bit. Teemu. This puck recovered by HAVU. See if they can find some space here. Dominoiti. We're going to cut back. Throw the point. Again, stopped by Nikke. Great job by HAVU to try and find the space at the point. The vision for those one-timers, but now Stelic just can't bury that one.
Yeah, and Flyer Kungen sitting there on the doorstep hoping for a rebound, taking a whack at it, but unfortunately for Nicky Dangles, controls the rebound and gets the cover shortly after.
Absolutely. Chance here, turned over. Flyer Kungen, dangerous as always. Nearly caught hREDS napping on that breakout attempt, something you simply cannot do. Huge hit there by Pawanso, but hREDS still in possession. 8 minutes to play now here in the second period. And the puck loose in the neutral zone. Yoki, now Nicky Dangles, and again Benito tries to work his way through. Loose puck recovered by HAVU. Flyer Kungen, burst of speed through the zone. Tries to go out wide. Pawanso able to recover, throws it in front, scores! It's Flyer Kungen in front. HAVU have tied it. How quickly the tides can turn. What a feed in front by Pawanso to hit Flyer Kungen.
Yep, and the forecheck and the offensive zone pressure for HAVU really come into play here as they're starting to kind of ramp it up in response to what hREDS is putting on them. And, a good team like HAVU, they don't need many chances, especially in tight like that. They love those close passes, and it works out for them right there, tying this game up. The captain, Flyer Kungen, getting the job done. And if you're hREDS now, you're kind of feeling that, oh, not again mentality start to seep in, but they got to stay on it, keep the pressure on. You can still, take that lead back again. You just got to keep holding the line and get the pressure back the other way.
HAVU back on the attack. Pawanso in the corner. Looking, he has a couple of options to work with. Dominoiti tried to find Flyer Kungen again. HAVU picking up the intensity on the forecheck. We'll see how hREDS respond. Here's Benito, burst to speed, still has it, tried to throw it on, just couldn't find a way through. 5 minutes remaining now here in the second period. Again, Game 4. HAVU, a chance to end it. hREDS fighting. to continue this series into tomorrow. Decisive Thursday. Games 5 through 7 potentially covered for both series at this point. Shot deflects wide. Billy Kuhn recovers. 3.5 to go now. Chance Nasu. A little bit of a dangerous pass that close to his goaltender, but you do what you have to do to try and find space on these breakouts. Here's Flyer Kungen yet again, given space, loose puck in front. Nick able to keep that one out for the moment. Interesting to see. Nobody covered Flyer Kungen there, Sin. Everybody just collapsed as hard as they could to their own goal.
Yeah, and sometimes that's the better thing. Oh, you don't want this, though. Watch out, Billy Kuhn, almost turning it over from the pressure from hREDS. But yeah, sometimes that's a better option there. But again, you can't leave someone like Flyer Kungen uncontested right there. And if that puck happens to sneak through to him, well, that might be GG for your goaltender.
Final 10 seconds. Close calls for both teams here through the neutral zone. HAVU in possession for the moment. They're going to come up with it. Dominoiti tries to cut into the middle. Then that'll do it for the second period. So as good of a start as it was for hREDS getting the opening goal. Again, Nicky Dangles, the deflection in front. It is the captain of HAVU. It is Flyer Kungen who ties this one up at 1 apiece heading into the third. The last guaranteed period of play that hREDS have this season.
Yep, and they're going to have to, find it within themselves to just get more goals. It's plain and simple. They're playing well enough. You're generating enough chances. Now you just need to put it in the net. A lot easier said than done, but, when your back's against the wall, you have to find a way. And right now, HAVU are the ones kind of finding a way to get what they need. And, they're an excellent team in this third period. We're going to see probably the best HAVU team of this series, and we're going to have to see if hREDS will be able to match it. But I do like what they're doing at the blue line. It's just when HAVU gains the zone, it's almost a tiny bit of panic in some ways set in for hREDS. As you mentioned, they all kind of just collapse around the net and they lost track of something. You have to collapse around the net, but you also have to, keep track of your checks, because if one guy gets loose and that puck happens to go to him on those in-tight chances, it is very hard for a goaltender with the way they like to play. They don't want to go into the butterfly, especially too early, and it can come back to bite them on those in-tight chances right there, as we're seeing with that goal from Flyer Kungen, who got that through the 5-hole. We see a lot of that here in high-level 6'S games.
Absolutely. I mean, again, you talk about goaltenders being able to make amazing stops. The flip side of that is on occasion, like you mentioned, Sin, the unwillingness to go butterfly can often result in a lot of those 5-hole goals. This one on net, handled by Nick A. He'll quickly play it out. I think that's why it would be kind of interesting. You talk about the desired battle between NA and EU and the top teams involved, if there were to ever be a LAN tournament. Be very intrigued to see which kind of style would pan out, because again, EU, I mean, there are some noticeable exploits, we'll say, not in terms of in-game, but in terms of team defenses and the way goaltenders play, that are different for both sides of it. But ultimately, regardless, here we go. See what happens here for HAVU on this rush Dominoini. Tried to go back to the point. That was a good read by Yoki. See if he can find his way through. He'll dish it off. Nicky Dangles will win the race to this one. Tried to throw it on, just wide. hREDS still in possession. King of Apes, another shot. Sin, I love his willingness to do that. Has it again. Circles back, looking for that shooting lane. They'll find Yoki instead. Good movement here. King of Apes looking over for Nicky Dangles. Loose puck off the blocker. Still loose. Fought for. Kicked around to the corner. hREDS still fighting for it. Shot on. Saved by Hanselino again. HAVU struggling to deal with the pressure. They do get it out of their own zone, but can they turn it into offense? Pawanso has it following a stick lift. Couple of options here, but he'll settle it down. Gets it back to Nasastelli at the point. Now again, it's Pawanso stepping in. Can't hit the target. Good bit of defense there by hREDS. Again, hREDS right now fighting to survive. They had the lead in this one. It slips away for the moment. Chance here now, though, for HAVU. We'll see what they can do upon the setup. A little bit of space here. Tried to hit Dominoiti on the stretch pass. A great read there by hREDS in response. Pawanso trying to be as aggressive as he can be. Sin disciplined. It's been on point for both of these teams for the majority of the games that we've covered today, I have to say. But here we go. Dominoiti again recovers just when you think it might be like, okay, here's a little bit of a downturn in the action. Sin might be able to get a word in edgewise. Loose puck. It's stopped. What an opportunity for Yoki. And again, Racy thinks Sin might be able to get a word in. These plays happen. Huge stretch past the Flyer Kungen. Just off the mark. Chance now here again for hREDS. Yoki not able to find the pass. Sim, we're beyond the halfway point of the period. Both teams with some chances, yet we're still tied at 1.
And the pace of this game has just been wild. Not a whole lot of face-offs happening, not a whole lot of offsides even, as sort of the blue line protection is breaking down a bit, but at the same time, teams are finding easier ways to enter as they get to know their opponent a bit more. But here come hREDS again on the attack.
Nicky Dangle threw it across, nobody home. Chance here for Taman, one-timer and a big save by Hanselinho. Great pressure here. Benito accidentally throws it off the back of the net, still in possession of it here now though. Circles out for a bit of space, takes the hit, but he gets it down low. Nicky Dangle's back all the way to the point. King of Ape, shot save again. Hanselinho coming up huge for HAVU Gaming here in the third period to keep this one knotted up at 1. In the neutral zone now. Again, Dominoidi tries to find his way through. Flyer Gungan forced to drop it back to his defense. Just over 6 minutes to play now here. In the final 6 minutes of guaranteed action for hREDS. You need to fight to keep your season alive. It's Nasa Stelia able to find Flyer Kungan along that right-hand side, but quickly taken away by hREDS yet again. Sin, if you're HAVU, do you just kind of wait to counterattack here, or do you take it to them, knowing that hREDS need this goal a hell of a lot more than you do?
I think you still want to be aggressive. You don't want to give any team a breath of life, especially with how close this series has been. And when it's coming down to bounces, you've seen what Färjestad can do. I mean, you never want to know. You want to put it away when you have the opportunity.
King of Apes, bit of space. Yoki looking, sends it across. Nicky Dangles nearly recovers. Pawanso comes up with it though for HAVU. 2.5 to play here in the third period of game 4. hREDS back on the attack. Mistimed option though. 2:03 to play as this one is called offside.
And once again, hREDS really seeming to get the majority of the pressure and get into the zone a lot more than HAVU is. And it's really showing in their shots and time on attack. I mean, over 2 minutes of a difference between the two teams, almost approaching the 3-minute mark. And that, when it comes to HAVU, with how good they are in their cycle, it's very strange, and it really speaks to hREDS' ability through the neutral zone right now.
Then you're going a little bit robotic on us. I will interject. You got to love it on occasion when that happens. I can see, I don't even have his webcam up now, but I can see the frustration on his face as we see the series of timeouts here. Sin, you're back with us, but are you still robotic? Domo
I am
Origato.
not. Nope. We're good here. We're good here. I don't know. You got to love when Discord decides to red bar you out of nowhere. It's like, all right, cool. Anyway, I forgot what I was saying because, yeah, as you mentioned, maybe a bit frustration right there. But I have to kind of question, like with HAVU, they're still not quite making adjustments to the zone. They're not.
Sin, you're going robotic again. I'm going to interject, but I will just say the fact that we pull off these broadcasts in this relatively high production as we do. Chance here for hREDS, big blocker save by Hanselinho. Chance again goes to waste. Huge opportunity. I will say, you got to figure, we got Finns, we got Swedes, we got 2 Americans who are on the opposite side of the country. It's amazing what we're able to put together. Chance here, thrown back in front, doesn't find its way through. hREDS in on the counterattack. Final minute of play, but HAVU able to take this one away. The next goal is likely to win this game. Will it be hREDS forcing a 5th game, or will it be HAVU walking away with this series and punching their tickets to the final? Time will tell. Sin for the win. Are you back?
I am back, and hopefully this time Discord won't decide to throttle me once again here. But hREDS again with all the pressure and getting a lot of possession even through the neutral zone. And I gotta wonder, HAVU really on the back foot here, and if it goes to overtime, could be a quick chance anything can happen, but hREDS looking really strong.
Back to the point, King of Apes, so he looked to shoot, nearly found Yoki for that play. 15 seconds to go here. Pawanso scored the late winner in game 3, but he can't hold it. Yoki in, spins, denied. Hanselinho, what a stop, and that will force overtime yet again. Hanselinho, a phenomenal save. And indeed, Sin, now for the 8th time in 11 games, it is hREDS going to overtime. Unbelievable. This is now 7 of their last 8 games that have gone to OT this postseason. We knew that we wouldn't make it through this broadcast with at least 1 overtime. And here we go.
Yeah, and it's just unreal how many overtimes we seem to draw and how many are being faced. But even more so, we almost had yet another late third period game winner. A tremendous move from Yoki. If people remember, we had a bit of a highlight package for him put together with a spinorama goal that he pulled off. Almost did the same thing right there, but Hanselinho, tremendous save in the dying seconds of the third period to keep the game knotted at 1. And still HAVU Gaming a chance to complete the sweep here. And I gotta say, they're going to have to try something else on these zone entries, as I was, trying to make the point several times as Discord decided not to cooperate. But it's interesting to me that they really haven't made an adjustment. They're still kind of just trying to force their way through the neutral zone instead of trying a few other things right there. And I don't know, that might come back to bite them here as if we see hREDS come back and get the victory here to inch their way back in the series.
Time will tell. Unpredictability often leads to success in a 6'S league of this caliber. Chance here for Dominointi. Again, if HAVU score, this series is over. If hREDS score, we will see these two teams in action tomorrow. Again, guaranteed at least one game from Linköping and Färjestad. Linköping winning both games earlier this afternoon. They're now up 3-1 over the 8th seed in Färjestad. That miracle run may be over. hREDS a chance here. Just puck in front, Benito just not able to hold that one. Dominointi was able to take it away. Here's Flyer Kungen, has a bit of a step. Great defense there by Teemu. But again, it's HAVU trying to maintain possession. Pawanso gains the zone, takes the hit. Loose puck. Dominointi has it. Circles back. Now it's at the point, and again, back down low. HAVU looking for space. Nasu shot, but off the legs of the defender and off into the corner. Chance again now here. See what happens as Flyer Kungen able to find a bit of space. Looking. Brings it all the way back. A tour of the zone. Nasu's shot blocked down in front. HAVU, though, still in possession. Shot on. Rebound was potentially there. hREDS survived the scare. Here is King of Apes stepping up. We'll see what he's able to do. Has a bit of space. Pass scores! It's Yoki in front. King of Apes sets up another goal. hREDS live to see another day. They win it in overtime. Here in Game 4, this series is not done yet. What a goal there, and HAVU perhaps stunned. It's Yoki, the overtime hero. Sim, we get another look at the goal.
And finally, hREDS with a bit of a vindicated feeling right there. They've been in every game. They've looked like the better team, honestly, throughout the majority of the 2 games today in 3 and 4, and they finally get rewarded for it in overtime here. Once again, guess who's setting that up? King of Apes. He has been a huge revelation for hREDS here, stepping up in place of a very talented defenseman in Yantu, and just, 3 goals for his team, he had 3 assists or maybe even 4 assists. I don't know. He seemed to be a very important part of every goal, and what a performance from him coming in. It's not easy to come in as a sub, especially in a playoff situation, especially against a team like HAVU, but he did exactly what he needed to do, played simple enough hockey, made the defensive plays, made the simple offensive plays, and 3-1 series now, a chance, a glimmer of hope.
That was such a tough goal to allow, though, if you're HAVU. You're going to be asking the question. There might be some frustration there. I know if I'm Nasu in that situation, and I am all over Yoki, I would be extremely unhappy with that particular turn of events. But at the end of the day, when you have, and Sin, you and I know this very well, when you have 2 teams that are so relatively evenly matched, going head-to-head, at the end of the day, it is often luck rather than skill that is the deciding factor in an individual game. Something has to be the deciding factor. It's either going to be luck or a crucial mistake on the other side. This time out, you may have expected a shot from Apes, a fortunate shooting animation there from Yoki to be able to tap that one in, but I've said it before and I'll stand by it. Sometimes in NHL, it's better to be lucky than good. And hREDS, you could talk about maybe they didn't deserve to be down 3-0 in this series. They're still alive. We'll be seeing them in action tomorrow. For HAVU, I think you hit the nail on the head. Maybe some more adjustments from them. They kept going back to the well. They got some opportunities, but at the end of the day, it didn't really necessarily work, especially with zone entry attempts. And for hREDS, you have a very interesting decision to make now. 6 players who deserve to be in that lineup, as far as skaters are concerned. Only 5 of them can suit up tomorrow.
Yeah, that's such a tough situation. On the one hand, how do you take King of Apes out after a performance like that? On the other hand, Yanzu, has played the entire season and just as much as King of Apes deserves that spot. I do not envy them in that decision making, but they do get to stay alive and they, get to find a way to try to come back in this series. But yeah, I mean, we heard from Flyer Kungen and HAVU. They said, if we can hold this team to under 2 goals a game, we believe we can win. You did that in both games. You only won one of them. And that's simply, they didn't get enough offense, I feel like. And HAVU, especially, we talked about them wanting to clean up the transition game. We saw glimmers of it, but hREDS, excellent at shutting down the blue line, and simply not enough adjustments, I feel like, for HAVU to keep entering the zone and establish their forecheck and establish their cycle, which is really what makes them such a strong offensive team.
Absolutely. And again, Sin, it's very intriguing to me. Again, a friendly reminder to all of you, we will be here Thursday afternoon, same bat time, same bat channel. Again, at least one game apiece. Game 5, you have Linköping up 3-1 on Färjestad. And now, of course, HAVU up 3-1 on hREDS. But Sin, what's intriguing to me is the difference in kind of the tone of the series. Mm-hmm. Where with Linköping, it's we got them right where we want them. With HAVU, it's okay, maybe there's a tiny bit of doubt in your mind over you could argue we didn't deserve to win game 3. It was pretty close. Obviously, the deciding goal was certainly well-deserved and well-earned, but there is the argument, the hREDS probably should have won one of the first 3 games. They win game 4. They looked very good in doing so. There's a slightly different tone to each of these series heading into these 5th games.
Absolutely. I mean, Linköping, it's like you said, I mean, they're looking like they're going to win, and there's really, it's barring like a miracle, they should come away with that victory, but just with how good they've looked and absolutely dominant against Färjestad. And here, as you mentioned, it's just been so close. And if there is going to be some wild upset and some wild comeback here, I think it's going to come from hREDS. And then you start to think back to last season, you start kind of getting the thing in your head. It's like, well, they were in this position before, they did let it go. Are they simply not making the adjustments needed? Are they cursed, or what's going on? But hREDS, even though you're still down by 2 games and you have to win every single one, you can't lose. There's a little bit of hope there, and this is not a one-sided matchup at all.
Again, the thing to remember, that is HAVU's first loss this postseason, but it's the way that you lose sometimes that speaks volumes. Mm-hmm. I'll be very intrigued to see, of course, how this plays out. Sin, we are just about ready to wrap things up here for another tremendous night of action between, again, the Final 4. We're not done yet. All 4 teams will be back in action tomorrow. Going to be very intrigued to see how that goes down. Any final thoughts here as we look to call it another cast? All things considered, another strong effort from everybody across the board, including you, fighting off this robotic syndrome that occasionally overcomes you for just a few moments.
Syndrome. I heard that. I caught that. But yeah, it's parting words. I mean, I'm just excited. We get to see this series continue. It's been, definitely the closest of the semifinal matches, even though, the series score may not completely indicate that. I think, hREDS has got a lot more to show us here, and we'll see what they're able to do on Thursday, but very excited for the conclusion of this and the potential rematch of last year's finals. Either way this goes, it's going to be exciting.
Again, if you're a betting individual, the Linköping HAVU rematch seems to be on the cards. But whether or not it'll happen, there are 2 teams who still have a lot to say about that. With that, we are just about done here. Again, thank you for watching and enjoying, we hope, this presentation of the ECL Elite Division Playoffs, of course, brought to you by IS Esports and Prisma Gaming. Of course, NHLgamer.com for all the information that you need. You can find us on all the socials, the Twitter, the Instagram, Discord, YouTube even. Check us out wherever you want to. You can do what you want. I'm not going to judge you. A lot, but a little bit. So you can find Sin, of course, on Twitter at Sin for the Win Prod, right here on Twitch and on YouTube as well at Sin for the Win Productions, Sin FTW. Of course, you can find me on every platform known to man except TikTok because I'm closer to being a boomer than anything else. You can find me on Twitter, on Twitch, on YouTube, and Instagram at Tugi24, of course. Sin, with that, I will see you tomorrow. We hope to see all of you tomorrow as well. A series of Game 5s on deck. We hope to see you then and there. For now, Have a good one. Stay safe, and we'll catch you then.